Alright, it's time to finish this off. Hopefully this won't be another 2 hours and some change. But let's not waste any time and get right back into it. Part 2 and 3, hopefully. Again, go to the gate to the Soul Society and I'll run into the Don guy. The precipice between their world and the Soul Society. Alright. Oh yeah, I think my voice is sped up even more in this one. So bear with me. I'll try to explain some of the stuff I say if, you know, something went by too fast.
Alright, boys. Alright, boys. It's time to power through, bro. 2 times speed, bro. 2 times speed. Let's go.
The walls start collapsing and Yoruichi tells him not to get swallowed up in the car when a big train called the Queen.
Alright, here you go. I'll give you guys subtitles. There you go. 2 times speed, boys.
Appears. They go to the Don guy every 7 days, and as fate would have it, the day they decide to leave for Social Society's cleaning day. And Yoruichi's all like, "Come on, people, run for your lives." But why weren't they warned about such a thing ahead of time, seeing as how it can kill them? Again, I'm assuming the answer is LOL, but fortunately for them,
Yeah.
Stop the cleaner and blow. Yeah. So I do remember, in this part, there's kind of like this disconnect here. I can tell he doesn't really care that much anymore. So like stuff like this about how Yoruichi didn't mention the cleaner or anything like this, even though it comes to the Don guy every 7 days to clear everything out, and the fact that they even made it through with Orehime's help is just, once again, they got lucky. This is just really reckless and extremely foolish and stupid on the part of Yoruichi and Kisuke. But like I said, there's a lot of this I'm sure he's probably just gonna skip over and won't address because these are just like character issues and plot issues. To the other side of the gate, and finally, small glimpse of the space before, but now we're finally here, and it all looks pretty bland, boring, and even primitive. This is mostly personal preference, of course, but everything here's
Bruh!
What's up?
I hate it. I can't, dude.
Okay, so here I do remember this, what I said in this video in part 2. When you first get into Soul Society, it all was pretty bland, boring, and even primitive. Yeah, this doesn't. So the Soul Society, I don't know how long it's been there, but it exists like beside the world of the living. So they can take things from the world of the living, which they have done that before. And as the world of the living like advances, and I'm pretty sure Karakura Town is Japan. For some reason, the Soul Society is kind of like Japan, but from 1,000 years ago, and they kind of just stay in one position. They don't really move forward or advance. They stay with the old architecture. I think Karakura Town is Japan. And it just looks like old Japan, right? From a very long time ago. It seems they have structure here and they have technology. There's no cameras anywhere in the Soul Society or anything like that, but they do have cameras when the plot demands it. And of course, they have phones that they use in the world of living. No one really calls each other or uses their phones in the Soul Society, but they do have phones.
I literally can't. This man's just like, I don't know, boring and primitive.
Yeah, I'm just describing what it looks like to me. I'm not, like I said, I wasn't expecting anything crazy cyberpunk, but it was kind of underwhelming seeing the Soul Society. Even though, yeah, this is the Soul Society. This is outside the Serite, just outside the Serite. But there's something that I have to bring up here.
This man said Japanese architecture boring and primitive. Come on, bro.
Outdated. It's a story about the outdated architecture. Not that I was expecting it to look all futuristic and cyberpunk like, but this just looks like Japan from like 1,000 years ago. Seems like they just got to a certain point and literally just stopped advancing. Anyway. Yeah, like they lived up to a point and they just like stayed there. Yoruichi's very upset using her powers.
I told you not to expose your spiritual powers in there. We're fortunate that the cleaner only made contact with the shield area. If it had even touched any part of the 6 flowers themselves, you'd all be dead now.
I didn't know.
Hey, lighten up. How is Orihime supposed to know that? And anyway, if it hadn't been for her quick thinking, we wouldn't have made it through that gate in the first place.
Yeah, I'm with Ichigo here. What Yoruichi's saying makes no sense. If it wasn't for her, they'd be just as dead. Maybe next time you want to communicate with your group how these things work and the possible dangers before putting their lives at risk.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Okay.
I don't remember this. I'd love to hear
like,
this.
First of all, like,
come on.
First of all, bruh.
Yep.
First of all, like, they didn't think that the cleaner was going to be there that day.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. That's not the point. Yes, the cleaner comes through once every 7 days. Why didn't you tell them about the cleaner at all? I hate that he's just like siding with the stupid character writing and decisions. You have this group. You're going through this thing. Yes, mathematically speaking, it's only once every 7 days, right? So it's not likely. But why wouldn't you tell them about it anyway, just in case? And Orihime is able to block it, and it pushes them to the other side. And Yoruichi gets mad at her, and I'm just like, wait, what? But you weren't gonna make it. That's the whole reason why she did the shield thing. You said this. I'm pretty sure like they knew this, and Orihime is like, okay, I gotta do something here. Like, of course, they didn't think they were going to get stopped by the cleaner, but why weren't they told about the cleaner? He just sides with this awful writing and characters in Bleach all the time. I'm sensing a bit of bias, honestly.
Like, so there's no need to explain something if you're not going to run into it, right?
They don't know if there are or not. Yoruichi just thinks they're not because it's not likely, but why wouldn't you tell them about something so dangerous? Right off the bat, they could have just been dead. Right up like this. Oh my, this is. Oh, it's so frustrating to me that you have this horrible writing, and it's not just Bleach. There's a lot of people that just side with it. You know, it really troubles me.
Like, why even bother? They're just like, hey, bro, like, we don't need, like, why would I tell you, like, hey, man, there's meteors that crash into the planet, but they're never gonna hit you. Like, why would I even feel that anxiety with you, bro? Like, what?
Holy shit. This man just likened the Dongai train to meteors hitting Earth. The Dongai train goes through the Dongai every 7 days, and they have no idea what the schedule is, just randomly going. You don't think it's important to tell them that?
What the fuck?
Why would I even bother telling them? Who cares? Why would I bother? Except that one chance that you actually come across it and you're fucked.
Logical is Kisuke. Anyway, the gang arrived in the Rukongai, the poorest and most populated area in the Soul Society that just so happened to be on the perimeter of Serite, the place where all the soldiers live, and where Ruki is being held.
I think I mentioned this in part 1 about where they land. And I know in part 1, I think Bleachhub said that Kisuke didn't know where to land, even though Aizen knew. Aizen's like, of course you land in the Rukongai. You work with Kisuke. That's where his base of operations is. And I was wondering, it's like, wait, could they have just landed anywhere? Because they, to be honest, they got a pretty good spawn area. They're on the outside. They're just like a couple feet away from the Serite. Like, I've always wondered, it's like, could they have just dropped possibly in the Serite or just anywhere in this entire world, anywhere in the Soul Society? Because that's actually pretty wild. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't work like that, because Aizen knew they were going to land in the Rukongai because of something with Kisuke. I don't know how Kisuke didn't know that and would tell them that, but yeah.
So it's not the
Where all the soybeans live.
All right, let's get to it.
worst
Come
spawn
on.
they could have done. Lucky for them. Ichigo sees the way to the Serite and rushes in because he's Ichigo. He gets stopped by this big gorilla-looking guy named Jidambo.
Oh yeah, I mentioned in part 1 how you're gonna love this, what he says up to Kisuke. Excuse me, what he says to this guy right here about Kisuke's training.
Says one of the Soul Society's best warriors who's been guarding this gate for 300 years. I wonder how Yoruichi knows that. Anyway, Ichigo fights the guy one-on-one. We get some pretty standard cringe anime dialogue along with another.
Bro, that is not a critique. That's foreshadowing.
I didn't state a critique here. The whole thing, I don't know, maybe he took it the wrong way, or it just came off the wrong way. The stuff I say about how, I wonder how Yoruichi knows that. This is, in my video, I was kind of playing up the whole aspect of how Yoruichi and Kisuke didn't tell him anything, even though, like, they're very familiar with this world, the Soul Society, and how things work here. Extremely experienced. And, like, I played it up to the point where we get to where Yoruichi reveals herself. But in the video, I'm playing it up like, if he's been guarding the gate for 300, like, how do you know that, right? But I'm playing up the aspect of, in the story, you don't know who Yoruichi is. But I'm going it from the angle of, obviously, Yoruichi should have explained to herself, explained the whole situation with Kisuke and how everything here works to the best of her abilities to the group before they came here. But yeah, I don't have an issue here. I didn't state a critique or a problem here. Let's see what the...
You saying, how does she know that? The point should be, oh, that's interesting. That's some foreshadowing.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on.
That's some good writing, right?
That's some good writing that Yoruichi no. This is ridiculous. How does she know that? Is a play on her not telling them anything, because she knows, just like Kisuke I mentioned in part 1, knows basically everything and how everything in this world worked, and Ichigo. Yoruichi knows a great deal of these things as well, but they don't tell them anything. We know Kisuke is just a fraud, and I play that up in part 1 as well. It's just, he's not explaining anything to Ichigo and the universe, and the same with Yoruichi. And that's why I did the whole, I wonder how you know that, because they know everything, but they're not telling Ichigo and his gang anything at all. Despite the fact that they should absolutely be giving him this information because they need him to succeed on this mission. I'm not really sure what he's so upset about right here. And this whole, like, that's good writing. How is that good writing? That's bad. The fact that because he's saying that they know all this. That's bad, though. That means you should have told them. Why are you keeping these secrets? What's the point of all this? And by the way, there's something in this video that I didn't mention that I'm going to mention right here, right now, about when Gin shows up.
Right? That, like, we're getting implications that these characters know more than they're letting on.
That's the problem. That's an issue. They should have told this to Ichigo and his friends. I mentioned this in either part 2 or 3, that the only reason they survived, despite the incredible lack of information they have and the fact that Kisuke basically sent them to another dimension to die, is the fact that the captains are just morons. They're dumber.
Really should fight me.
There have only been 2
But we'll get to that.
who have come along before you who were powerful enough.
I don't get how he thinks that's good writing. about how they're foreshadowing that Yoruichi knows a great deal about. That's bad. That all comes around to bite the writing and the characters in the ass. That's a huge issue. Same with Kisuke.
To stop my first thrust.
And like, bro, this would be the same guy that'd get upset. He'd be like mad if like Kisuke and Yoruichi exposited like all of the things that they've done, right? Like, and they explained everything. He'd be like, oh, too much exposition.
No. And this is, yes. I remember he actually points out my issue with exposition here. Because later on, I do harp on more about exposition. There's a difference, and I can't believe Bleachhub didn't know this or doesn't know this. There's a difference between a character in a story or book or anything, telling another character something for that character's benefit. It like Kisuke, right? Helping Ichigo, trying to help him to survive the Soul Society and what he's going to encounter. Yes, giving him this information that he needs 100%. I'd have no problem with that. By definition, that is still exposition. There's a difference between that and a character telling the audience something for no reason. A character saying something that they wouldn't say in a particular story. The information is only for the audience. They're not really talking to another person. That happens a lot. That's the only issue that I have with the exposition, and I point that out every time. It happens with Kaname and Kenpachi later on. Before this, it happened with the whole. I pointed out with Renji, and when they find Rukia. There's a difference with exposition between Kisuke telling Ichigo the information he needs to survive that would benefit him, and help him through this journey that he's about to go on to try to save Rukia. There's a difference between that and a character telling another character. There's a few ways you can become a captain. You by this, and this. Tell another captain that, by the way. Exposition all exposition aren't equal. I wouldn't have a problem with Kisuke. You're saying that this is the same guy that would have a problem with Kisuke. No. That would be a good thing because that would make perfect sense. The problem in that situation with Kisuke and Ichigo and him not telling him anything is that's the problem. He didn't tell him anything. I would have no issue if they explained it to him because that would make perfect sense. Exposition isn't the same across the board, Bleachhub. I don't know how you don't know this. In part 1, he brought up because he said my description was similar to a Mauler video. In that video, I think there's a scene. Here's a good a tool for a rule of thumb, I guess you could say, for exposition. Good exposition and bad exposition. There's a scene where Flash goes to visit his dad. I can't give you, I don't know the time set, but check that out. That's bad exposition. Kisuke telling Ichigo what the information he needs. I have no issue with that. That would have made perfect sense. And the problem is that's missing. Even though, keep in mind, he said that I would say that's bad. It's like, no, keep in mind, you were on Kisuke's side with that. You're like, they didn't have time. But okay.
I don't like, but then they don't expose it, and then he's just like, well, like, how do they know these things? It's like, bro.
No. That's, I don't know how he extrapolated that from what I've been saying. Characters should interact with characters in ways that make sense. Kisuke and Yoruichi should have told Ichigo all this stuff. And as far as what's happening right now, I said we have this really stupid, this really silly and expository filled dialogue right here. This guy who's just defending the gate, he's like kind of like introducing. This happens a lot in Bleach where they're like introducing themselves and they're like, these are my special attacks, and no, it's like, bro, this dialogue is just awful. But the exposition is actually not even that bad right now. Later on, it gets much worse.
Oh, come on.
That is where the story ends because neither they nor you could ever hope to fend off my.
Yeah, he's like telling Ichigo, I've guarded this gate for whatever amount of time, and throughout all my years, no one's ever been able to pass me. And he's just like, okay, bro.
Second thrust. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, this is
5, 6.
I'm gonna let this play out because I don't want to skip too far.
7, 8, 12, 9, 6.
Dialogue is
Wait,
awful,
I never had to
bro.
count this high before, but I must be at 10 by now, so it's time to finish this. Got him, I think. Moral here is Ichigo's really strong. I do like that he mentioned this about Kisuke's training, though.
Remember when I was training with Mr.
Oh yes, this is beautiful.
Hattenclaws? He said it was going to take me 10 days for my soul reaper powers to be completely restored. But as it turned out,
It's almost like he did train his stamina, bro.
Knowing you probably.
Jesus. Once again, here he goes about like complaining about something that I have no stance on. It's like, what? I gotta pull that back a little bit more. I don't know what the fuck he's on about right here. It's dangerous to pull this back. Let's hear that whole thing again.
Got him, I think. Moral here is Ichigo's really strong. I do like that he mentioned this about Kisuke's training, though.
Remember when I was training with Mr. Hattenclaws? He said it was going to take me 10 days for my soul reaper powers to be completely restored. But as it turned out,
It's almost like he did train his stamina.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Ichigo got really strong. He didn't learn anything. Listen to the rest of this.
Bruh.
Another 5 days. Knowing you, probably goofing off. I fought with him the whole time. For so long, nonstop for 5 days and nights. He and I battled each other one-on-one. I see. And you learned all his
What happened? Did he just stop it?
fighting techniques, right? Wrong again. So what's your point then? I didn't learn a single thing from him about fighting. But in those long hours, I gained tremendous strength and stamina.
Really just solidifying what I said earlier.
Johnny and Bosch at 2 times speed is kind of fucking funny.
Okay, let me pause that right there. That's my point. Ichigo got really strong. He didn't learn anything else. Didn't learn anything about better fighting, and didn't learn anything about the people he might be fighting. Didn't learn anything about his own spiritual power and how to better control it. He's just strong. So I don't know what Bleachhub's going on about. It's like, yeah, I know. I know. That's my point. Is that he's really strong, and he's gonna have to rely on that power level and nothing else. He's not even like really relying on how to precisely control his own power level, by the way, because he doesn't know how to do that. Yoruichi brings that up later on.
Dude, he said, strength, stamina. Yeah. The Bleach.
What just happened?
I don't know about that one, Chief. I think that's a stretch as well. I think Bleach is okay. Like, I think it's a solid 6 out of 10. Like, I think it's
way too high. 6 out of 10. 5 is like middle of the road, right? Average. You know what I mean? Down the middle. 6 out of 10. I wouldn't put Bleach on the positive side. I think in this video I said it's a 3 or a 4. But yeah, I'm gonna get through this as fast as possible.
enjoyable to watch, enjoyable to read, but
your enjoyment of something doesn't reflect the quality of that thing. When it comes to these stories and books, and with any sort of media, like, yeah, you enjoy it, but let's break it down. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it. It's like, yeah, I have plenty of guilty. That's the whole point of guilty pleasures, is that you really love. But I realize a lot, you really love something that isn't very good. But I realize a lot of times in these animes, especially something like Bleach, people love it so much that they're willing to, like, in their brains, that means it's good. Not saying your enjoyment isn't important, but they take their enjoyment and make that the standard of how good it is. And it seems like Bleachhub does the same thing, even though I really wasn't expecting this from him.
Passing it up more than that is a hate crime, but then saying it's like Dookie dog water is also a hate crime.
How is that a hate crime if you have reasons to... Oh, Jesus. Man, this is really pathetic from him, I gotta be honest. I thought someone who's been covering Bleach for this long and who's also told me that he's heard plenty of Bleach critiques and things like that would have had... This is just completely just... Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is just... It's pretty... Let's just get through this.
You know what I'm saying? I definitely think it's something that's enjoyable to watch.
Yes, I agree. I do think it's enjoyable, although I still wouldn't recommend it. There are things in Bleach that I do enjoy.
And I definitely think, like, if you're going to get into anime and manga, you should probably just go.
What just happened to the audio?
It is a pretty big part of, like, anime culture. So, you know, I definitely recommend it for people.
I guess that's the difference between me and him in a lot of ways, really. The audio there wasn't... I didn't record that properly. I think he says it's a big part of anime culture, so he would recommend it. I don't care if it's a big part of anime culture. I wouldn't recommend something that unless you're someone who I know would like something like Bleach. Like if you enjoy One Piece and not like this Bleach's animes that it was the big three, things like that. If I knew you enjoyed those things as well and you think those other shows were good, I'd recommend to you Bleach. If you were just some guy asking me about something good, I would not recommend you Bleach. I'd have to know you like films like this specifically. These big long animes that really aren't that well written. The what I like to call escalation protocol, where it's all just power level chasing with a bunch of filler and just the universe isn't well put together. The writing always falls apart in a matter of like seasons. It just goes to complete shit. Then yeah, I would recommend Bleach because I know from just knowing you that you enjoyed those kind of things, and Bleach is along those lines. A lot of times people talk about Bleach that it's the black sheep of the big three, that it's the worst. I don't know how true that is. Even if the other shows are better, I can't imagine that they're that much better. I'd be surprised if I gave Bleach like a 4 and I watched Naruto and One Piece and I think those are like 7s or 8s. I do not think that would be the case at all. I wouldn't put money on that. I think they're all within the same quality of each other. Let's say it like that.
Spiritual power. He starts crying.
This was ridiculous, bro. I hate when they write these. I hate when they have characters that are basically just really old. This is what I talk about, how I don't think Kubo thought much about like the age of his characters and who they'd be. Because I think I mentioned this in part one. It's like, take away their ages, right? Like, would you ever guess that these beings are these ancient characters who've lived centuries, some thousands of years? Really didn't like the response from this guy, but I guess that's more of a personal preference. Like I said, I think it was supposed to be a joke. It was just pretty cringe to me, man. He breaks his swords and he just like breaks down crying and just like not crying like how, you know, like crying like an actual child, just banging his fist on the ground like a literal baby. And he lets him through.
This is supposed to be funny, but it's more cringe than anything else. And so because Ichigo defeated...
Damn, this guy just doesn't like anything, bro. He hates everything.
I don't hate everything, man. That was just that was awful. It's like, really? And then he, after that shenanigans, he just lets them through. That was, now that I think about it, this is actually a big deal. I wonder what he says about this.
Everything. He's just like,
about Janabo letting them through.
He's like, oh, big man crying. No, big man should be serious.
This 300+ year old being loses to a warrior that's trying to get into the Soul Society. Well, loses to a stranger trying to get into the Serite. And he starts crying like a literal baby. He's like the baby from Spirited Away. Like, this isn't some like steadfast warrior who's been on his. This doesn't work, bro. Guarding his gate for 300 years against all intruders, and this is his reaction when he loses. To turn into an actual child. Then he just gives up and lets Ichigo through.
No jokes allowed. Big man should be angry.
I don't have a problem with jokes or anything like that, man, but that was bad.
Agree.
Janabo decides to let them and the gang pass through the gate. Yes, Ichigo swings his sword at this guy one time to destroy his weapons, and he lets them through the gate. These people are intruders to the Soul Society that are clearly very powerful with completely unknown intentions, and yet he's just going to let them into the Serite. Okay. This guy's clearly pretty shit at his job, but alright. Also a very bad first impression of the Serite security. But just as they open the gate, they're approached by this guy in a white coat.
I hope he talks about that. I hope he doesn't just...
He's Gin Ichimaru, captain of Squad 3. That's what these white coats signify, by the way. That someone is a captain of...
Is he actually just going to let that go? No thoughts on Jidambo letting them in after he cries?
Particular group of soul reapers are generally more powerful than the ordinary soul reapers. Usually top tier power level wise. Anyway, he seems to know Ichigo, or at least he's heard the name before.
Oh yeah, I want to get into this Gin stuff. I'm going to let it play through a little more.
And push Ichigo and Janabo out of the Serite away from the gate. Ichigo blames himself for the gate being closed, and Yoruichi's like,
No, don't start blaming yourself. Your opponent was Gin Ichimaru. It couldn't be helped. You should...
Genichimaru.
Okay, let me talk about this right now, because I know he's going to have an issue with this. I didn't bring this up in my video. Yoruichi, so Jidambo lifts the gate. Gin approaches. Yoruichi sees him and says, Ichigo, get back. Yoruichi seeing Gin, everything is fucked. This disguise done. Turn back into your normal self. Grab Ichigo yourself and get the fuck from the Serite. Yoruichi, last time she's seen him, well, I don't think she saw. I think Kisuke would have obviously, unless of course Kisuke didn't tell Yoruichi. Gin is with Aizen and Kaname. They're traitors, and now she sees him again, and he's a captain. These are, by the way, this was in the Turn Back the Pendulum when they turned them all into basically they betrayed everyone, framed Kisuke and turned everyone into a bunch of the old captains into visors, and they all got kicked out into the world of the living. Yoruichi's reaction should be, holy shit. This whole like, Ichigo, stop, get back, stay away from him. It's like, no. You need to step in and bring everybody back and drag them out of Serite yourself. You should not allow Ichigo to approach Gin like this. You have no idea who this is. The fact that you see him as a captain now should blow your mind. Like, holy, you mean to tell me since the last I've been here, he's gained even more power and more status and rank? All you know about him, once again, unless Kisuke didn't tell him, I don't think she ever saw him. Unless Kisuke just once again kept the information that Aizen's a traitor, Kaname is a traitor, Gin is a traitor. Last she knew them, they were lieutenants, and now here's Gin as a captain approaching the Soul Society, approaching the entrance of the Serite by himself to Ichigo and his friends. A captain, by the way. This is a huge oh shit moment, but once again, it's pretty obvious that later on, when Kubo came up with the Turn Back the Pendulum, he didn't think about stuff like this. Because this fucks up this entire moment right here. Yoruichi should not be this calm about this entire situation. And he's like, it couldn't be helped. Your opponent was Gin Ichimaru. It's like, bruh, you're lucky, once again, that Gin didn't kill Ichigo right here. I know Gin is a good guy. Yoruichi doesn't know that. And I also love how no one says, wait, what? Gin Ichimaru, who's that? And why didn't he kill us? Like, he's a captain like Byakuya, right? Why did he just push us out of the Serite and just wave us goodbye?
Genichimaru, bruh.
Just be glad that you were not hurt.
And no one gives enough of a damn who Gin wants to even ask, hey, who the hell was that guy and why didn't he kill us?
Yeah.
Except for me, of course. I'm not sure what happened to those other soldiers that were behind the gate.
Yeah, there was a bunch of other, yeah, when they first arrived and the gates fell down, there was a bunch of other lieutenants kind of just sitting there. And like they did a cross by, you know, there's some people that I don't know. There's obviously 69 guy, I forget his name, and Izuru in the back over there. And yeah, Gina later on, that's an issue, by the way, where it's like, why did you go to face the intruders by yourself and let them live? It's like, what happened to all the other Soul Reapers that were just there on that day when they first came? Like I said, I guess Gin just told him to fuck off, like, as you know. There's no other, unless they just left. It's like, whatever, Jidambo should be fine. Even though Ichigo's power level should be outrageous at this point.
But she just said that, bro. Like, bro.
She says that was Gin Ichimaru, couldn't be helped. No one asks, who's Gin? Why didn't he kill us? Why did he just put, like, everything I just said? But okay. She told them his name. They don't know who that is. That's like Byakuya showing up and it's like, Ichigo, that's Byakuya. It's like, who the fuck is Byakuya?
He's like, bro, nobody asked who Gin was. And
it's pretty weird that the captain would show up at the gate, push them out, and just wave them goodbye. And once again, I already talked about Yoruichi's reaction to this is just way off. This is clearly something that the whole turn back the clock pendulum about what happens with Kisuke, Kaname, and Gin later on, and Aizen, that clearly wasn't something that Kubo planned, or clearly wasn't something that he thought much about how it would work in context, because Yoruichi's reaction should not be just, oh, don't worry about it, that was Gin, couldn't be helped. It's like, bruh, the fact that you see Gin now should blow your mind, should really be free. They should play the spooky Bleach music, and Yoruichi should be having some inner thoughts right now.
it's like, bro, she just said I was Gin Ichimaru, a very, very big chatty boy.
What does that have to... So, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. A random captain they come across as they about to enter pushes them out of the Serite. And Yoruichi's response is, that was Gin Ichimaru, couldn't be helped. And that means you know him now? It's like, bro, who's Gin? Why didn't he kill us? By the way, Gin actually made a terrific point to Jidambo. It's even weird. Why didn't he even kill? Why didn't he, you know, he's like, wait, you're supposed to be guarding this gate. Why are you letting people in? Yeah, but yeah, Yoruichi telling them his name and that, like, he's strong isn't telling them who he is. I don't know why Bleach, he goes off the rails, man. Strong start in part 1, but man, he goes down the shitter. But let's see here. I gotta get through this as fast as possible. It's already been 30 minutes.
How much money would you need to pay to scale Sword Art Online? If you...
I kind of don't even want to. I might have to do some more editing on this one than the first one, because I don't really want to skip, because the time bar on here always puts me in the wrong location. So I'm gonna have to let it play through for another hour.
If you want to watch the anime, I don't know, drop a 300. Hold on, how many episodes are in Sword Art Online? What am I signing up for?
I'm gonna have to cut this stuff.
How many?
Let's see, I'm at 142. See if I can get this just right. Okay.
So I'm trying to think of a new plan, and the gang's kind of just chilling in the Rukon guy for a little while.
That was a really weird pause.
Well, no, not really. You see, I died in 1947. It happened in Yamanashi Prefecture, long before Yuichi died. You can see by our age and location that we're far apart.
Here, you don't change at all. You stay
Oh yeah, you once you arrive in the Soul Society, whatever age you are is just how you stay in the Soul Society.
the same as when you first get here.
That's pretty cool. People in the society don't age. Anyway,
Yeah, it was pretty neat. There was the gang, like I said, the gate closes and Yoruichi's trying to find another way, and they're kind of just hanging out in the Rukon guy where they are, where everyone just came out of their houses and starts helping them. They're just normal people, and they're just kind of going around, you know, getting information and learning about this area. They're learning from the just random residents, because Kisuke and Yoruichi didn't tell them any of this shit, by the way. They learned about the whole stuff about age, and Chaz kind of just hanging out with this kid that I think the kid he actually came across in the world of the living.
later that night, he was attacked by some weirdo. Nothing serious though. This thing was mostly just played for laughs. But Ichigo gets so upset about all this that when Yoruichi returns the following morning, informing the gang that he knows someone further out into the Rukon that might be able to help him get into Serite, Ichigo refuses to go and wants to stay till the weirdo from the night before returns, so they can fight again.
This was wild. This was what, so they spend the night in this place, and Yoruichi comes back the next day, right? So they're short a day. And that night, some random person came, attacked Ichigo. Nothing serious. Like I said, it was more of a joke thing and just ran off. And Ichigo wants to stay there for that person to come back so they can fight again, instead of going with Yoruichi, getting back on this fucking mission to save Rukia Kuchiki. And this was wild to me, bro. I was genuinely like, my only conclusion was, this is just to show how unfocused and stupid Ichigo is. I was genuinely, just like I am now, at a loss for words. This was ridiculous.
I gotta believe this, but Yoruichi actually has to convince and remind Ichigo that not only is their time short, but the severity of the situation they're in, and that Rukia's life is on the chopping block. Did I mention that they were now short a day?
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, my body's ready for this explanation or whatever he says right here. Because I know Bleachhub's like instinct is just to defend Bleach at this point, right? No matter what. So let me see what he says about this.
That's fine, right? Like, that's fine. Like, it's just showing that Ichigo's kind of childish, right? Like, it's fine. Like, he is a 15-year-old boy.
He's a 15-year-old boy. That's true. He's a high schooler. All right. But hey Bleacher, what about all that compassion and love Ichigo has to the point where he'll throw his own life away to save his loved ones? I guess that just goes right out the window when some random fucking asshole just like just comes and attacks him one night. He's just like, fuck Rukia. All that love and compassion you kept talking about in part 1 just went straight out the window. This is on the borderlines of like character assassination, to be honest with you. The fact that Yoruichi really has to dig in, like, you know, they show this little scene right here with Rukia and the countdown against the execution is like, Ichigo, did you forget why we're here? I can't come to any other conclusion other than this scene is just to show how unfocused and stupid he is, bro. This is ridiculous. His age doesn't matter right now. We already know things about Ichigo from the origins, the first few episodes before he came to the Soul Society. We know how much he loves, how strongly he feels about those he cares about. That once again, he's willing to just throw his life away for them. Right? Sacrifice everything for those people to save them, to protect them, to make sure that they live. And now Ichigo's like, fuck it. He completely just forgets about Rukia. That's wild to me.
Like, whatever.
What? Okay, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna have a good, quite a few laughs in this one. I can tell. Whatever. You see what I mean? Surely by now you must see what I mean, right? About how like he just has to defend Bleach, and he just like doesn't. We're gonna get into some more stuff. The Aizen and Kisuke stuff is gonna be some juicy stuff. I'm surprised I didn't say anything about my comment there about how unfocused and stupid Ichigo is.
He is accompanying them to Serite. Why? Well, she says she doesn't trust Ichigo and his friends, which makes no sense. Why would she doubt them when Yoruichi's trusting them, especially after the situation and why the gang is there is explained to her?
I mean,
yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, let me talk about this a little bit before he gives an explanation. I want to give a little more, just in case he don't really understand what's going on here. They go out to meet Kukaku Shiba, someone who could get them into the Serite, right? And she has a plan and she's about to reveal her plan. But Kukaku's going on about how she doesn't trust them, right? Keep in mind, and when I say this right here, I'm assuming Kukaku Shiba knows, and Yoruichi mentions to Kukaku that, you know, Kisuke is involved. And once again, I think she knows them, as in who they really are. That they were these like top dog captains in the Serite, back when they were still living in the Serite. Right? And I'm guessing she also knows that they're innocent, that whatever happened that got them kicked out or whatever reason they left, that, you know, they're innocent and they're still friends. And she mentions that if Kisuke is involved, I can't refuse. And she's like, I don't trust them. It's like, why not? These are peons. These are just little kids. She's like, I don't trust. It's like, bro, you don't think why not? If Yoruichi and Kisuke trusts them enough to do all this fucking bullshit, break into the Serite, punch to, like, why don't you trust them? You know what I mean? It's like, if Yoruichi and Kisuke, like, shouldn't that be enough? It's not like, in what way don't you trust them? You think they might betray them? You don't think they're good enough? You think they have ulterior motives? It's Yoruichi, the Flash Queen. And once again, I'm assuming you know who Yoruichi and Kisuke really are. She's not in any danger from them. She's vouching for them. She goes on about how, you know what I mean? It's and I mentioned, I'm pretty sure, is this just a really dumb way for Ichigo to have a character to have stupid interactions with, which is Ganju? Because she's like, because I don't trust him, I'm sending Ganju with you. She sends her brother, Ganju, into the Serite with Yoruichi and these strangers to punch into the where the Soul Reapers live and save Rukia from underneath their noses. Do you have any idea how dangerous this is? And I mentioned that it doesn't seem like Kukaku even like him or Yoruichi even really care about how much danger they're about to put Ganju in. It's like, bruh, you shouldn't come with us. This is, your life is gonna, you might very well get yourself killed. And, you know, Ganju isn't like Ichigo or Uryu or Chad. Like, he's not like this crazy powerful guy. He's kind of just some guy, really. You know what I mean? is just really dangerous. I would have liked if they had something like, Kukaku, are you sure about this? What we're doing here is extremely haram. For lack of a better term, like, bro, this could very easily be life or death. You sure you want to put your danger in that side of? You sure you want to put your brother in that sort of predicament? Never really comes up though. But yeah, let me see what he says.
I mean, do you just trust random friends that your friend brings over? Like Caleb's a great friend of mine.
They want to get into the Soul Society. Shoot them into the Soul Society. Who gives a shit? They want to go save Rukia. I mean, like, I don't understand. Like, she says she doesn't trust him. She doesn't trust Ichigo's friends, and so she's gonna give them Ganju to go with them. It's just like, what? Don't give them. They want to go into Soul. Shoot them into the Soul Society. Who cares?
Like, he's one of my best friends. But if Caleb brought in some random goons, I'd be like, well, I don't trust them. Like, I trust you. And I have some faith that you didn't bring like random goons to me, but I still don't trust them. Like, I need to see what they're like capable of, what they could do. Like, it just seems weird to be like, bro, I trust anybody that anybody brings around me, bro. As long as they're with my buddies, then. Well,
yeah, you know what? I do see the whole, like, do you just trust random people your friends bring around? My thing is this. She says it's that the analogy you just gave is kind of sort of in line. The issue is she says, I'm going to give you my brother to go with you because I don't trust these kids. It's not like, I'll help you, but because I don't trust him, my brother has to go with you. That's what I don't get. It's like, if you know Kisuke and Yoruichi, like the way you do, and Yoruichi trusts them, it's like, shoot them into this area. Who cares? If they want to go in there, just go. Like, why would you send your brother because you don't trust them? Like, you already have some level of trust to actually help them. But where you're liking the trust is where you put your brother in place to put him in danger. Like, the analogy, I'd go 50-50 on this one. But yeah, it's strange.
It's all good, bro. Blind trust. Hell yeah.
Isn't it worse if you, wait a minute, isn't it worse if you didn't trust him and you just put your brother, like, amongst their group and send them off somewhere? Isn't that worse with the whole, like, blind trust thing? What if they just kill him? You know what? What if they just fuck him over? Wouldn't it be better if they just, like, wait, we want you to shoot, we want you to get sincerity. It's like, I'll put you in this giant cannonball. They're like, okay. It's like, wouldn't it be better just shoot him off and just whatever? Yeah, I'm sure Kukaku can trust that Yoruichi is going to be fine, but why put your brother amongst them?
Assuming she knows Kisuke and Yoruichi, as in she knows them, not the way the gang and the viewer knows them, but she knows who they really are. So why would she not trust these guys? Is it just so we can have a dumb character for Ichigo to have dumb interactions and banter with? Maybe. Although Kukaku doesn't even see the register the amount of danger she's got.
Yeah, that was my whole point about the whole trust. Like, she doesn't trust him, so she's gonna give him Ganju. But how does that make sense though? Why, if you don't, like, why would you give them your brother to send off on this mission here? And I assume that is to have a character so Ichigo can have these interactions with. And just as they land in this area, they all get broken up into groups. Well, Chad is by himself. Some of them. Chad's by himself. Yoruichi's by herself. Orihime is with Uryu. And just as I said when it happens, you guessed it, Ichigo's with Ganju. What's up? Do you have? Okay, I guess not.
She wants to put everyone in a kind of spiritual cannonball and launch them through the air into the Serite. Now this actually laugh out loud because Yoruichi was against trying to get to the wall by force earlier. The reason why this is funny.
Hold on a sec. There's someone on a bike outside. Okay.
I say stupid because Kukaku informs the gang that the wall around the Serite is made from a special rock that repels spirit energy and creates a spherical barrier around the entirety of the Serite above and below. But launching everyone into the sky above the Serite while in a spiritual cannonball to punch through the barrier sure sounds like something that would get the attention of, I don't know, every Soul Reaper living in the Serite. But for some reason, Yoruichi doesn't object to this idea, even though the night before this asshole and the gang all agreed that there's probably going to be extra Soul Reapers waiting at each gate after what happened. Trying them again would be unwise with all the extra security. But Kukaku's plan is far more dangerous than them even having to go to the same gate Gin appeared at. In fact, Kukaku's plan sounds more like a last resort than anything else. It would be much smarter to just try another gate with the increased security than making this big entrance into the Serite. That will surely alert.
But they can't destroy the gate. They can't get through.
Yeah. I gotta be honest. I was trying to, like, follow what I said myself because it was going by so fast. I think I have to play that back again. Hold on. Let me see if I can play that back and come to this point. Hold on here. I don't even remember all of what I just said there.
Knows Kisuke and Yoruichi, as in she knows them, not the way the gang and the viewer knows them, but she knows who they really
I went by too fast. But, you know, I guess I can talk about it a little bit before I go back to that. Yeah, so Kukaku wants to shoot him in a cannonball and to burst through the Serite's barrier. And I was just like, wait, hold on. You guys talked about how you didn't want to try another gate with the increased security because of what happened with Gin and Jidambo. Right? So you want to keep a low profile. And I talk about how this whole thing should have been planned out to be more of a stealth mission than anything else. But she's like, yeah, that's sounds good with me. Let's punch through the Cerite's barrier, right? And I talk about how Jidambo. And to be fair, I'm not even sure. Did I mention destroying the gate? Well, if I mention destroying the gate, then yeah, that's a huge fuck up on my end in my video. But I talk about how Jidambo was just able to push his like fingers under the gate and just like throw it up. And I'm like, well, Ichigo's ridiculously more powerful than Jidambo. In fact, a lot of his friends, I'm pretty sure, are stronger than Jidambo. It's like, why don't you just lift another gate or lift, like I mentioned, like, dude, even going through that same gate where Gin appeared, that would have been safer, more efficient, and better than shooting through the air in a cannonball and popping the Soul Society's Cerite's barrier. Right? Because at least where if you went to the same gate, obviously the people are gonna be aware of it. They're gonna know you're there, they're gonna know where you're coming from. But shooting through the barrier in a cannonball, well, it's not just gonna be people in the Cerite aware of you. Everyone's gonna know. Everyone. All the captains, wait, is that a goddamn what is that? Is that a meteor as it crashes into the barrier and destroys it? Well, it destroys the barrier for a brief moment because the way the barrier for the Cerite is set up is it'll reform again. So they crash into it, burst through it as the barrier forms, and then they just like fall out of the sky. That's wild to me. That Yoruichi's like, it sounds good enough. It's like, bruh, you should have just went back to the, honestly, just lift the gate and go through a gate. This is way more dangerous than, like I said, going through the same exact gate that Gin pushed you from. I hate the fact that they even discussed this about the dangers and the extra security and the alerting more people just to alert everyone. This shit, like I mentioned in the video, I'm pretty, man, I don't even really, I guess I didn't even really have much to say in reality because I just keep referencing what I say in the video. Like, this should have been a last resort. The position you're in now is like, in terms of priority and how to go about this, above this should have definitely been just going through the gate or a different gate. Even the same gate, it doesn't matter because this is much worse. Everything that you're trying to avoid, all the reasons for not going through the gate, it's the same reasons with the cannonball except just heightened. They're just all worse. Because everyone's gonna know you're here now. Everyone's gonna be alert. In fact, if they see you just like coming through the barrier, like they'll even know where you are. Oh man, hold on a second. I gotta stop it right here. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
She wants to put everyone in a kind of spiritual cannonball and launch them through the air into the Cerite. Now this actually laugh out loud because Yoruichi was against trying to get the wall by force earlier. The reason why this is funny,
I'm back with some H2O.
The wall around the Cerite is made from a special rock that repels spirit energy and creates a spiritual barrier around the entirety of the Cerite above and below. But launching everyone into the sky above the Cerite while in a spiritual cannonball to punch through the barrier sure sounds like something that would get the attention of, I don't know, every soul reaper living in the Cerite. But for some reason Yoruichi doesn't object to this idea, even though the night before this asshole and the gang all agreed that there's probably going to be extra soul reapers waiting at each gate after what happened. Trying them again would be unwise with all the extra security. But Kokaku's plan is far more dangerous than them even having to go to the same gate Gin appeared at. In fact, Kokaku's plan sounds more like a last resort than anything else. It would be much smarter to just try another gate with the increased security than making this big entrance into the Cerite. That would surely alert.
But they can't destroy the gate. They can't get through, like, they can't get through the Seki. That's why they need the cannonball.
You can just lift the wall, same as Jidambo.
Bro, that's the whole point. They can't get through there.
I didn't say anything about destroying the gate. They just go through the gate, lift it. Ichigo, yeah, now all his friends are stronger than him, especially Yoruichi.
And you know what? They can't even cannonball themselves. Because wouldn't you know, our main boy here doesn't know how to do such a simple thing.
Well, and like, you can't alert any more Soul Reapers than you already have. Like, you already tried to invade, right? Like, you already tried to break down their gate, so it's like, I don't think they really care, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's a good point. They're already aware of someone trying to get through, right? The only thing is, well, yeah, you know what? That's true. I could have worded that better. I guess the way I say that, so they have Soul Reapers at the gates, right? They're aware that someone's trying to get in. The cannonball will just make them know where you are and where you're coming from. That'd make, instead of just like one gate, and then people try to get information across the Cerite to let everyone know that they're coming through here, the cannonball just automatically lets everyone know where you are. You're already spotted, basically. There's no like hiding. They can see you.
Soul Reaper I was telling you about earlier, and he can't use spirit energy at all.
I mean, holy fuck, I know I beat the boy into the Soul Society with his pants down. Now, even though the whole gang went to train,
yeah, they did.
Because he's the only one who can focus his spirit energy properly. Chad.
Is he not going to say anything about that? That's interesting. I thought he would. Oh, okay. Moving on.
All get on their first try. Bleach goes no quitter and he's trying his best. While that's happening, inside the Cerite, the Sorter Captains have a meeting, and we see everyone gathered together for the first time.
The soybean captains!
Now, bear with me here, there's 13 of these guys. First, Sosuke Aizen, Captain of Squad 5. Sajin Kamamura.
The audio changes a lot here because of how much I had to cut up my video and re-record stuff. Sorry about that.
Captain of Squad 7, Kaname Tozen, Captain of Squad 9, Kenpachi Zaraki, Captain of Squad 11, Soifon, Captain of Squad 2, Unahana Retsu, Captain of Squad 4, Byakuya Kuchiki, Captain of Squad 6, Shunsi Kyoraku, Captain of Squad 8, Toshiro Hitsugaya, Captain of Squad 10, Meiyuri Kurotsuchi, Captain of Squad 12, Head Captain Ginryu Sai Yamamoto, who's obviously Captain of Squad 1, Gin, who's just arrived, and Jushiro, who's currently absent. He's by far the friendliest of the bunch, but he's always sick with some shit. Now, the reason for this meeting is because Gin not only acted alone, but also failed to kill the invaders. But before any further questioning, they were interrupted by the fucking cannonball about to burst the Deteriorate barrier. The meeting is dismissed, and Kenpachi runs off to find the intruders. He's the captain that loves fighting the most. In fact, just thinking about the intruders that went against Gin and survived excites him. Unfortunately for Kenpachi, once the cannonball hits the barrier, the gang is split up into four.
Look at that.
Himself, Uryu and Orihime together.
Look at the explosion that causes hitting this area there. They're literally glowing. They have highlighters on them.
And Ichigo with, you guessed it, Ganju. Yoichi is also by
Ganju,
himself.
my boy!
He's actually kind of relieved that he's on his own and thinks it's better that way, which really doesn't make any sense since this plan couldn't have gone any worse. As I suspected, and as they should have suspected, the Soibers are all aware that the intruders are now in the Serite. And to make matters worse,
No, nothing to say about that either. About how Yoruichi's like, this is good that I'm on my own and away from the gang. I was like, bitch, what?
the gangs are all separated and are all in the most amount of danger imaginable. With Yoichi not being able to guide the group any further, so how this asshole actually thinks him being separated from everyone is better and not the worst possible outcome is beyond me. A quick side note here. It's been made clear that Yoichi is the most knowledgeable when it comes to society as a whole and told the gang before the Kaku's place that should any of them encounter a captain, they should just run away. Which is also funny because there is no such thing as run away from a captain. Not unless that captain allows you to escape. The best advice.
Yeah, this was pretty funny when I first saw it. Well, actually on my rewatch, because the first time I saw it, I was kind of just going into this thinking that they're all within the same power level of each other. Yeah, you can't actually run away from a captain, by the way. That captain actually has to let you get away. The gang isn't strong enough to actually outrun a captain or just like hide from a captain. Or at least, I guess it's not really strength, but they don't have the ability or any kind of spell to hide themselves from a captain. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, a captain actually had to let you go for you to get away from a captain. You come across a captain, it's a fight, bro. Like, straight up. You, like I said, you better make your peace with God, because this is it.
So given the gang is, should you encounter a captain, you should probably make your peace with God, because it'll be the fight of your life. Yoichi also encountered a captain, so should have really given the gang a run.
I think that's kind of funny. He's like, bro, why would you try to run away from a captain? Because when they just catch you and kill you, it's like, probably, yeah.
Bleachhub is an interesting guy, isn't he? He agrees with that. How he tells him to like run away from a captain, even though you can't. I gotta be honest. I would have expected him to be like, because, bruh, they're so strong. There's no point in fighting them. It's like, because just based on what he said previously about the information that Yoruichi should have given what I've said about the information Yoruichi should have given the gang and Kisuke, and he's just like, there's not enough time, there's no point in explaining it. I would have just been like, well, there's no point in even telling them to run away from captains. Who cares? That's the kind of thought process I would have expected him to have by this point, just based on what he said in the past about my videos. This is, I thought it would be like, well, who cares? Why would he? I don't even know why Yoruichi even told him anything. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's interesting.
But Ichigo tries to take that advice. Ichigo tries to run away from Kenpachi, and Kenpachi just starts kicking the walls down. He's just like, bitch.
Yeah, the Ichigo and Kenpachi fight is kind of interesting. Wait, what's going on? What was that? Yeah, the Ichigo fight is interesting. Kenpachi, I mentioned this before about Kenpachi. Like, I think you might have a higher chance of living if it was Kenpachi that came for Rukia and came across Ichigo, because Kenpachi in that fight, Ichigo keeps running and he kind of just like sits down, and Ichigo actually comes back to him after he like fortifies himself. And it's like, well, Kenpachi, he'll let you go. He'll kill some people, but he'll definitely just let you run off. Sorry about that.
Run away from me.
Run down with respect from a fight.
I don't know why the video keeps talking like this.
Now, the Tony takes a bit of a left turn. The Soibers have been built up to be this great force of good, these stern ancient beings that keep the balance of pretty much the entire Bleach universe.
Oh, no, yeah, Ichigo questions Yoruichi being a girl in the manga. Like, when she appears to be a girl, he's like, what? I always thought you were a dude. Like, what the fuck?
Going up against to save Rukia would be this incredibly dangerous task. But since landing in the Serite, we find most of this to be false. The Soibers are mostly cringy idiots that are played for laughs.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this a little bit right here. The Soul Reapers are super, like, kind of just clowns, really. You know, it's almost as if it becomes like a parody of itself. Characters like Byakuya and most of the captains are very, it seems rare, because most of the Soul Reapers are very just foolish. You know, like this guy, like it's all kind of like made up as a joke. They're not that dangerous. They're not that stern or strict, or they just seem like regular people. They don't seem like, and maybe once again, maybe the captains in general are just older than the normal Soul Reapers, right? Even though the regular Soul Reapers should be like pretty old as well, but they kind of just play them as just like fools, you know, like it's like a big joke and a big laugh. Like the threat level is immediately taken away from the vast majority of the Soul Reapers. it's pushed up from just Soul Reapers and lieutenants in general automatically to just like the captains. I think the only other, like, the lieutenants Ichigo can just slap really easily. Renji gives him a decent fight, but they're played up for laughs mostly. I thought it was a bit of a left turn because of how like they built up the Soul Reapers to be for all this time. Of course, it started with Jidambo, but I thought that was just an offshoot. Maybe just like, maybe this guy's just the only idiot, the only clown, but they're all kind of like that, you know? Byakuya's personality and the way he's extremely rare to be like that serious and that like stalwart. Yeah, they're not even, I wouldn't even say they're really just like, well, maybe they're in that range as just kind of normal, like everyday people. It's like, nah, they're just clowns, man. It's very like, they're just really pathetic and useless and just inadequate, incompetent.
But still, even with
Bro, you can't call Ikaku cringy, idiot. Bro, like, this is to humanize the other faction, bro. Like, did you just want them to pull up and be a bunch of, like, weird Nazi people? They're just completely 100% evil with...
Not at all. But I would expect them to be more serious about the intruders. That's it, really. I do think Ikaku was cringy, by the way. I think Ikaku was pretty good. That's just, like, once again, that's not really like a, you know, that's just a personal thing. Nothing really, I don't think it really, I just think it really affects the story in a negative way. I just think he, like, who he is and the way he is pretty, you know.
No redeeming quality. Or would you rather them also have a human element?
No, well, they have to, I'm not saying they should just be pure evil and not have a human element. I know the Soul Reapers are the good guys.
As well. Like, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? Be a pro. Should be like, oh, the fact that they have, like, weird quirks and everything shows that, like, this is also, like, another society thing. Like, it shows that, like, both sides are humanized. Right?
Yeah, I liken them to police officers, except they're extremely incompetent, bro, to a laughable level. Like, a lot of cringe, like I've said, but, you know, the captains are at least maintain a level of seriousness to them, about the intruders and their job, and just, you know what I mean? They seem far more capable. These guys are just absolutely pathetic and awful.
Right.
It's weird too that these guys, this is a thing I bring up later on about how, like, no one seems to confine Ichigo and his friends. And, like, the whole first part of them getting to the Serite, everyone's just on their ass, man. They're aware of where they are. They're just, like, none of the captains know about it. And, like, no one actually goes to pick them up or apprehend them.
Which is a good thing in making you care about what's... Come on, bro. Come on.
with all this they trying to regroup with each other and find Ruki and not instantly caught. This is a huge problem I have with the Soul Reapers because they have the ability to sense.
Yeah, they do what they do, well, this is not stupid, just really kind of silly, like for laughs, like cartoony stuff like this right here you see on screen here, man. It was really jarring to me anyway. The tone shift for the Soul Reapers.
Individual spiritual pressures. Yeah, they behave as if they actually have to look for the intruders the same way a normal man would have to look for another man. When they
Oh yeah, they also do this thing where they're like, we have to find it. It's like, can't you just pinpoint the spiritual pressures? Like, it's also, especially someone like Ichigo, who, once again I mentioned, should have a giant marker on his back.
should be able to just pinpoint their location with sensory abilities alone.
Bro, that was clearly like a gimmick. Ah, it's so like it was clearly like a little gag scene where they're running around the map. Dude, come on, man.
Oh no, it's not just this. Yeah, it's not just like the parody thing about the running on the map. Like, they actually behave as if they actually have to, like, find someone, like how a normal person has to look like. Basically, how I would have to look for you, Bleachhub. They act as if, like, they're not in the. They're all in the Serite, and they should be able to pinpoint each other's spiritual pressures. Later on, we find out that captains, well, not captains, but certain Soul Reapers who are good enough at Kido, they can use Kido to hide themselves. But we know damn well Ichigo and his friends don't know anything about that. They can't use Kido. They've been told nothing about that ability. And Ichigo's just letting his powers leak out of him. And the captains, well, everyone really, they act as if they mentioned a couple times about how people's spiritual pressure is there and then it's gone. I'm just like, how is it just disappearing like that? Why can't you just find them? And why are you running around, like, actually looking for people as if you can't pinpoint their power levels?
Whenever one of our boys fight a Soul Reaper, there should be a sort of giant mark on.
It's fun. I think it's funny because humor is subjective, right? You know, if I tell a joke, I can't say it was objectively funny.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, so I agree with everything he's about to say right here. I do remember this part about the jokes and the humor and stuff, but the thing about the thing about them running around chasing Ichigo, that wasn't to my point about them having to find Ichigo and not be able to pinpoint his power level. That's just like to my point about the tone shift and the funny stuff. But yeah, they just run around trying to find Ichigo as if they can't pinpoint him or any of his friends. And it was really funny Bleachhub actually has an issue. I think he brings up a problem that he has with me talking about how they can't lock on to his power level, even though that happens every fucking time. And I have to assume LOL plot because once again, the plot just demands it to happen at that time. Characters can find each other, except when it's when the plot doesn't want them to. And we get into this later on.
Everybody laugh, right? You can't do that.
Like at one point they can't be like at one point it's like, well, we have to let's just trace his power level and go find him. Like that's a thing sometimes. It's very inconsistent. It's very strange.
But like, and like you can say that they're cringy, that's fine, but like it does serve a purpose. Like it's a whole point. Like
Their backs. It's like there's no one else in existence. There's often a lot of screaming, powering up, destruction, and even general conversation. But somehow they kept this going for a little over 20 episodes, which is about 3 to 5 days in terms of real time for the characters. Also, the gang's handling the story because they come across really makes any sense. They normally come across stories with similar power levels to their own or much lower. It's rare that
I mean, that's actually like pretty good choreography in terms of fighting.
I don't know what maybe someone in the comments said something. I didn't say anything about that. All I'm saying is that when they come across when the gang comes across Soul Reapers, there's a lot of screaming, powering up, fighting, and general conversation, and no one else takes note of it to like close in on them. There's a lot of like one-on-one fights going on, and it's very strange because the one-on-one fights are the most destructive and the longest fights, and no one else. It's like there's, like I said, there's no one else in existence. I don't know what the hell. I didn't say anything about choreography here, but yeah, they keep this going for a long time, man. I don't even know how they do it, to be honest with you. Well, plot obviously. A little over 20 episodes, I say.
Against someone much more powerful than themselves, but should they win a battle, for some reason they an interesting plot point for the gang if this was brought up before they left the world of living. He's saying Ichigo had singly talked to these high school teens about the dangers of the world they're about to enter. That there's going to be no room for weakness or mercy if they're serious about saving Rukia. And perhaps even talk about the possibility of them having to take someone's life.
That's because
I wish Kisuke had a lot of talks. I wish there was a scene like one good episode of discussion, man. I would have appreciated that very much.
Most of the training that they were doing, like most of that time, was just to develop their powers as best as they could. Like
yeah. You mentioned this before about how they didn't have time. One day to talk about any of this, the dangers of the world they're about to go through, the fact that they might have to actually kill people. I mean, Kisuke tells that to Ichigo that when you protect someone, you don't let them die. When you attack, you do the Thanos thing. You go for the head. You attack to kill. And I didn't bring this up in the videos, but it's actually kind of weird that it's like it's a thing to think about that I didn't really spend much time on. It's like Kisuke telling Ichigo that whoever it comes across in fights, like you should go for, like you should try to kill them. And even though that does make sense for Ichigo and saving Rukia and not getting himself killed, it's kind of weird when you think about it. Like, so I said it's actually lucky that he didn't kill these people because he would have fucked him up even more. Because you're killing the good guys. The Soul Reapers are the good guys. They're the ones that keep the balance. They're not bad people. Well, mostly anyway. And to have Ichigo just go in there and just start murking people to save Rukia would have been a very bad look. So it is fortunate for Kisuke that Ichigo just chose to like not, listen to him really.
Again, they don't have a lot of time at their disposal. Like they had to move in very quickly.
I think they had 2 weeks of preparation time. I guess Bleachhub is saying like there's just no time for them to talk and discuss anything about what's going to happen or who they're going to come across or how they're going to actually do what they intend on doing and saving Rukia and stuff like that. But hey, there's just no time, guys. Despite the fact that you had like half a month.
They had minimal time to like train and whatnot. Come on, man.
After all, sparing the life of Soul Reaper, the defeat is incredibly foolish and could very well lead them to get themselves killed.
I don't know what I guess he thinks like to just tell them this stuff would just take forever. To tell them about the world about to enter, the possibilities, what they might encounter, you know what I mean? I guess in Bleachhub's mind, it's just like, bruh, like they can't even take a single day off or even like a couple hours to talk about this stuff. Even though like Ichigo has to, like the way training goes, like you train, you stop, you train, and you stop. And that's how I would assume that's how most of the training in this show goes. That Ichigo is special in that way where even if he's not training, like a big fight that hurts him a lot that he recovers from will make him stronger. So like within the time that Ichigo is resting or recovering, like what the fuck did you guys talk about? Because I know that happens with Yoruichi later on when they're training. Once again, you train, you stop, because you can't just keep pushing him and then like kill him, right? You have to let him recover. And they talk. And Yoruichi actually reveals some stuff about Kisuke and herself. But I guess Kisuke just never said shit.
Fortunately for the gang, they never really have to come face to face with this kind of thing. And when they let their opponents live, there's virtually no negative repercussion for these stupid decisions. And even though Kisuke tells Ichigo,
the only thing that your sword speaks of is senseless fright. And that's not good. What you do not need in battle is fear. Nothing will come of it. When you counter, you don't let them cut you. If you protect someone, you don't let them die. When you attack, you kill.
He completely throws it out the window when he gets into the Serite. Then there's this scene after Uyu defeats the Soul Reaper he ran into.
He's still alive.
bro, this scene is pretty weird as well. It's similar to what so when Byakuya stabbed Ichigo twice to take away his spiritual power. I figured that had to be like a Soul Reaper thing or a Zanpakuto specific thing, but it seems like you can attack Soul Reaper's chest in a way that will just destroy their powers completely, bro. I don't know why more people don't utilize that. I don't know why Aizen don't utilize something like that. In fact, I think after this moment right here, Kubo kind of just completely forgets about this whole thing. That's very nifty and very important thing to remember in this universe. That you don't, in case you don't want to kill someone, you can just like destroy their powers. I don't. Uryu actually, strangely enough, Uryu actually knows about this, and he's like, his arrows, he's very good. Just shoots him in the chest, and he was like, "Oh my god, you just killed that guy." It's like, nah, he'll be fine. He won't be a Soul Reaper anymore though, because I just destroyed his powers.
Just destroyed his soul chain and Huxley soul sleep.
I mean,
I don't know.
Ichigo was pretty geared up to like beat up Ikaku, and he did. He beat up Ikaku. Like I don't see how that's contradictory. But
wait, you don't see how what's contradictory? Oh, is he talking about the Kisuke thing about how when you counter, you don't let them cut you or protect someone, and when you attack, you kill? Oh, Ichigo doesn't kill anyone, nor does he really aim to kill anybody. He kind of just fights all of them. Really, none of them are really trying to kill anyone. They're not trying to like take any lives or rack up a body count. But yeah, about this thing right here with the so you can actually if you don't want to kill someone, you can actually attack them in a way that will just destroy their powers and like basically make them a non-threat to you. If you really don't want to kill them and you don't want to risk them like possibly coming back to attack you or kill you in return or for revenge or anything like that. The funny thing about this is because of how like, because he talks about the soul chain, even though I don't even know how Soul Reapers have soul chains because soul chains don't really work like that. Like the fact that Kisuke didn't, once again, this happens a lot, man. Master Urahara just doesn't give a shit. The fact that Kisuke or anyone, not even Yoruichi, tells Ichigo about this. And I talk about, I reference it to Attack on Titan. For those of you who don't know Attack on Titan, characters can turn into these giant titans and their weak spot is the back of their nape, is their nape. You cut the back of their neck, you can kill them or you can just cut them out of their bodies. You can basically nullify their Titan forms by doing that. And I talk about that, dude, that area should be like that. It should be as protected and well known as that because that's extremely dangerous. Not only can you die from just getting stabbed in the chest, but you telling me that you can also lose your powers. So even if you're not dead, you can just basically be just powerless. And that should have been extremely important to Ichigo and basically every Soul Reaper, honestly. That should, once again, just like how the whole like giving someone your powers can lead to your execution. That should be Soul Reaper Academy stuff in terms of world building. But you know, people don't really give a damn about world building.
Spots that govern spiritual powers. He's going to live, but his
he wasn't afraid of Ikaku. He was like very gassed up in that fight. He's like, "This is fucking awesome, bro! Like, let's go."
when he awakens as a result of this battle, he'll no longer be a Soul Reaper, and that's good enough for now.
Now, since when did Soul Reapers have soul chains? How is that even possible? That's not how soul chains work. Unless you're a substitute like Ichigo, for someone to be a Soul Reaper, they would have had to already been dead, and they're so successfully transferred to the Soul Society from the world of the...
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't know. He says I don't know how the soul chain thing happened there. Because the soul chain connects you to your body. That's what the chain is for. And one of two things happens once that chain breaks. You either have someone transfer you over to the Soul Society, or that chain eventually eats all the way back down to your chest, all the way back down to Ichigo's white t-shirt here and turns him into a hollow. So I don't know how the hell a Soul Reaper would have a soul chain.
So why would they still have a soul chain which is supposed to connect the soul to their physical body? And about the Hatsui soul sleep, Master Urahara mentioned this before, and that's how Byakuya destroyed Ichigo's power. The thing is, I thought Zanpakuto had...
It's part of their like Shinigami biology, dude.
Yeah, but why did it not? Well, no, it shouldn't be. How was it part of the Shinigami biology though? The soul chain does one of two things. What it eats itself down to your chest, turns you into a hollow, or if in time a Soul Reaper helps you pass this over to the Soul Society to the point where the soul chain, like there's no soul chain. You don't have a soul chain anymore because there's no chance if you turn into a hollow once you're in the Serite. You've already passed over. Unless some shenanigans, someone puts something in you, but you can't naturally turn into a hollow anymore because your soul chain is no longer there. You have no connection to your body anymore. But hey, I guess they somehow still have soul chains. Even though they literally don't have soul chains on them.
It's just a part of their biology, dude.
He used to do such a thing. Will make them a Soul Reaper no more. But why does this lead to him losing?
Like every being would have it. Like any being that has like spiritual powers would have those. Just a part of like the spiritual biology.
His powers.
But it's spiritual bio. Because I was about to say like they don't have a soul. I can see his chest.
Does doing this somehow cause the destruction of his inner world and his Zanpakuto spirit? Because if that's the case, you think they told Ichigo to be as protective of those spots as the Titan ship is with their nape when I digress. Ichigo goes with Ganju and they take him sorry excuse for Soul Reaper as a hostage. This pathetic women.
No thoughts on the whole like Soul Reapers losing their powers from a certain spot on their chest and telling Ichigo to protect that spot.
actually wants Ichigo to save Rukia because he has a crush on her or something. I don't know. While that's happening, the Story lieutenants have a quick damage assessment.
It's reported that both high-ranking officers have sustained serious injuries. A detailed damage assessment for the entire squad is currently underway. But at the moment, all we have to go on are unconfirmed preliminary reports of the day's action, which would seem to indicate that Squad 11 was almost completely annihilated.
Yeah, you guys are getting your asses kicked.
3 of the Ryoka have been positively identified, and 2 of these are known to have taken a member of Squad 4 hostage. Intelligence indicates that this group is heading this way. However, since a short time ago, we've been unable to detect their spiritual pressure, so their whereabouts are now unknown.
Yeah, you know what? At this point, I'm pretty convinced you guys can't detect spiritual pressure at all, to be honest.
They can suppress their spiritual pressure, though, bro. What do you mean?
There's no way Ichigo can do that. There's no fucking way that's actually something that Ichigo can do. But is that something that any of them can do? I've never heard that. That sounds like, I know in Dragon Ball Z that's a thing to try to like get under the radar of people, but I've never heard that Ichigo and his friends can do that. I mean, I don't know. It would have been very good to bring that up, but like I said, you know, the sensory system is very strange. Characters can sometimes find each other's characters, sometimes can't. I don't know. As far as the suppression things go, I do know characters can do that. I don't think Ichigo and his friends can do that. Or at the very least, I know for a fact Ichigo can't do that. And there's no way that should be able to work once they're in a fight. But like I said, it's like no one else exists when something actually happens in the show.
Okay. I'm just like, okay.
What's up? This is gonna bother him much later when I bring this up again about the whole sensory abilities and spiritual pressures.
The story for when leads Ichigo and Gojo wander around to Rukia when they run into Renji. They have a pretty okay fight, and obviously Ichigo wins. They're both heavily injured, and just before Renji collapses, we get a flashback, and he gives a pretty nonsensical speech. It's supposed to be really emotional and gut-wrenching and all, but it just doesn't make any sense. Renji and Rukia were childhood friends and were broke as hell. They went to school together, and everything was going fine until Byakuya showed up wanted Rukia to join his noble Kuki family. The thing is, the nobles simply made Rukia an offer. They didn't push or force anything onto her. He obviously wanted the perks of being in a noble family and accepted the offer. Even Renji was aware of this. But since then, he's been hating on Byakuya for pretty much no goddamn reason. He kept it to himself since Byakuya was so strong.
Well, what do you mean no reason, bro? Oh, like what?
What do I mean no reason? Well, clearly he didn't just listen to what I just said, so let me explain again. Byakuya showed up one day, making making Rukia an offer to join his family. Rukia is like, I don't know. And Renji's like, dude, are you crazy? Joining a noble family is going to come with all these perks. Is going to come with all these benefits. You should do it. Rukia eventually does that exact same thing. Renji starts hating Byakuya for that. Not only did Rukia join of her own volition, you convinced her to join and you started hating him. Oh, Byakuya, I hate you so much. He becomes Byakuya's lieutenant even. And he's like serving him and he's just like, I hate you.
What do you mean no reason? He basically like stole the girl that he was in love with.
He he doesn't listen. And he clearly doesn't remember Bleach. Byakuya, I'm not going to repeat myself. I just explained that whole thing.
With, right? The girl that he loved a lot.
No.
And then also, he's just like, he stole her, you know?
He stole her, okay.
And that like, he views it as like, oh, because I wasn't good enough. Like, it also is like, you know, we drifted apart. I don't know.
I'm not going to, I almost want to repeat myself all over again. Had nothing to do with that. Rukia wasn't even sure about it, and Renji even fucking convinces her.
Have a time to like
go and join the Rukia family because of all the benefits.
Get with this girl anymore. I don't know. Just doesn't seem like
it literally has nothing to do with Byakuya, about what Rukia did.
You paid very much attention to like why Renji is actually.
If I paid very much attention, holy shit. How could he be so wrong? How could he be so wrong? My God. He's not paying attention. I'm going to repeat myself again. I don't give a damn. Renji and Rukia were childhood friends. They went to Soul Reaper Academy together. You know, of course, they had feelings for each other. They were very close. One day, Byakuya shows up, wanting Rukia to join his noble family. He makes the offer, right? They leave, saying that we want a decision from you in a certain amount of time because, you know, we're not just going to stay at this stupid academy. Rukia tells Renji this, and he's like, what happened? What's going on? It's like, they want me to join the family. And Renji's like, what? Are you really a noble? You have any idea what that'll do for you? How much, all the perks? Rukia, you got to do it. This is amazing. Rukia takes the offer. Renji starts hating Byakuya. I'm not paying attention. You hate this. You have beef with a man for he didn't do anything. This is like, bruh, this is like somebody's wife cheating on them and just with a complete stranger. And the guy's like, I got to kill that guy. It's like, what? Bro, pick it up with your wife. Rukia accepted the offer. But also part of the reason I'm sure is because you told her how great it would be and that she should. What the fuck? Bleachhub, everybody.
You're just like, bro, he hating on Byakuya for no reason. It's like, bro, he views Byakuya as like the source of his problems. Because everything was fine until Byakuya came along. It's a very normal reaction.
Everything was fine until Rukia left him. Fucking clown.
Action.
Okay, now I have to lose to Ichigo. He wants Rukia to be saved, which kind of seems like a complete 180 from when Renji first went to find Rukia and was told him about killing her then. And what's the score system here? Because I feel like making a good argument as to why they shouldn't kill Rukia is easy, but these stories
I shouldn't be throwing insults. I'm sorry. Got a little upset. I shouldn't be. I should keep this straightforward. I made a comment about his ad hominems later on this video, and here I am. I apologize.
because if stopping her execution can only be done through some sort of
Well, again, he has drifted apart from Rukia, so.
Anyway, after the fight, hostage boy and Ganju need to take Ichigo back underground to heal his injuries and help him recover.
He took direct hits from the Zanpakuto of his Soul Reaper lieutenant.
Oh man, I think he missed the thing about how Renji aged. Damn. Fuck. But yeah, I made a comment about how Renji got so big and actually grew older. Rukia is right in line. Everything's fine. I think she stays the same size. I'm not sure if she got bigger on the side because she's just always small. But Renji grew up. I don't know how that happened.
By all rights, he should be dead. His will to live is incredible.
Oh, sure, that makes sense. That's why he's alive. Goddamn.
Yes, will to live is a real thing.
It is. Explain. I never. I got his will. I always figured that he just. Well, she's like, oh man, that should have killed him. He should have been. It's like, well, he got lucky. And this guy's like his will to live. I was like, what do you mean his will to live? He just got lucky that Renji's cuts and attacks didn't just completely bleed him out and kill him. But let's hear about this will to live.
Bro, there are so many, like, come on, bro.
Well, explain it to me.
That's like a real thing, IRL. Like, that is actually a thing.
All right, you know what? Let's see if I can pull this up myself. Google time. Will to live. Will to live. Okay, that's a philosophy thing there. And in this situation, their will to live is based on being afraid to die, fighting something. Where's the will? Where's it? And this, by the way, in this particular context with Ichigo here, the whole point is because like his injuries are so crazy, like the fact that he's alive is his will to live is so insane. It has nothing to do with like philosophy or like you fighting someone because you know what I mean. It's just this is after the fact. The hell, I'm trying to find will to live. Oh, here we go. Concept. In psychology, the will to live is the drive for self-preservation, usually occupied by expectations for future improvement in one's state and health. The will to live is an important concept when attempting to understand and comprehend why we do what we do in order to stay alive. This isn't the same as what's happening here, though, with Ichigo on what this guy is saying to him. The will to live is an important concept when attempting to understand and comprehend why we do what we do in order to stay alive. That's not the same as what's happening here. Ichigo isn't doing anything. He's just bleeding out, and he's saying his reason his life is because his will to live. It's like he's lucky that he's not dead.
Like, if you have like because people like some people just like let themselves die. They just let themselves go. Is how they describe it when they just and then they pass away.
What?
It's like having the will to live. It does actually. It indicates certain like survivability, right? It is actually good.
He says that's a real thing. I don't know if that's a real thing. In different contexts, in the sense of like, you know, you can like jump out of this thing or you can get out of this car because it's about to blow up versus someone just sat in the car because they don't care. Yeah, he has a will to live, so he got out of the car and escaped to save his own life. That's will to live, but that's in a different definition, a different context. That's not the same as what's happening here with Ichigo, or what has already happened with Ichigo with his Renji encounter. He's just unconscious, just bleeding out.
As for Renji, he gets picked up by Soul Reapers, but won't just take note of Renji and Ichigo fighting after. I want to get here, but they retrieve Renji, and when Byakuya finds out, he turns up the stupidity to max levels.
I want Renji taken to prison.
But Captain, Renji's been badly hurt by
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear what he says about this. I can't wait to hear what he says about this stuff right here. By the way, how the fuck did Renji... I don't think I brought this up in the video. How the hell did Renji know where Ichigo was going to be? Wait a minute. How did he know that? I guess when he was in that report and it was like, last we heard they were heading right here. So I guess Renji just knew where Ichigo... Like, Ichigo comes from underground. As Renji walks down the steps and it's just like they just right in front of each other. It's like, well, I guess he got lucky on finding Ichigo. But as for what's happening right here with Byakuya, Byakuya is like, I want Renji arrested. And Momo's like, dude, these injuries, he might die. And he's like, I don't care. He lost. It's like, what? I want to hear, I'm going to love this one.
By himself, without
Then
treatment.
I'm afraid he'll die.
Yes.
It was his choice to enter that fight alone. In such a situation, a defeat is forbidden. I have no use for
He said a defeat was forbidden. That's pretty, okay. He says he has no use for someone who doesn't understand that.
a fool who does not understand that. The very sight of him still breathing offends me. Take him away.
The very sight of him still breathes offense. I'm sorry. Actually, I knew he said something along these lines. I didn't remember his exact words. Hearing them again is pretty refreshing.
Byakuya's been pretty cool and quiet until now, and we always knew that he was stern and strict, but his mentality is ass backwards. Sure, Renji did go to fight Ichigo.
No, this is just showing that like Byakuya's a dickhead, and that he's like really strict, bro.
Yeah, but okay. I don't even have to say anything because I'm pretty sure I addressed what he just said just now. Pausing the video, I addressed it right here.
And I'm not even sure how Renji knew when where Ichigo would arrive, but because he lost, Byakuya no longer gives a single fuck about his lieutenant, which is a funny thing to be happening now because this wasn't the first time they fought. Byakuya had to step in to stop Renji from getting even further humiliated by a 15-year-old who doesn't even know the name of the Zanpakuto. But now he's all like, oh, Renji went to go fight in law, so I don't care if he dies now. The fuck is wrong with these people? For the sake of consistency, this is what should have happened. Byakuya senses
Exactly. Same exact situation happened before. Byakuya stepped in and helped Renji.
Ichigo and Renji fight and rushes over to help his lieutenant. Since you know that even back when they first met, Ichigo was superior in terms of spiritual pressure. And how are these captains just teleporting around like this anyway? They can't
Yeah,
even find a couple of teenage invaders with an instant transmission all over the barracks for some reason. We then have another captain's game, and Jesus Christ, what the hell? The real
that was pretty fast and pretty cut up. But is he gonna say anything about that? Let me hear this again.
the invaders aren't that strong compared to all of you, and they're not that hard to find. Captains, take your lieutenants and go get them. This is really work that shouldn't take more.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't bring up anything about the whole. I guess he just dropped that whole Byakuya thing after I said that. But I talk about how these captains just teleporting. So in the barracks after Renji leaves, like Gin just appears there. I can't remember the order. Yeah, either Gin or Toshiro. One of them appears, and then after they just disappear, another one just appears again. I was like, bro, how the fuck are they just teleporting around like this? They can't even find the intruders, but they're just like instant transmissioning around all over the barracks. It's like, bro. I wish I was able to keep that whole entire clip in there, but hey. And then yeah, they have another captain's meetings about how like they can now carry their swords around. I'm like, bro, how have you not, dude? Go find the invaders. You guys are useless. And I have an issue with them. Like, okay, I'm gonna let it play.
In a few hours, but these guys keep recruiting for meetings and even get bodies here. What happened to your thirst for battle, buddy? The whole point of this particular meeting was just to say that since Renji has been defeated, they can't leave dealing with the invaders to lower level soul reapers, and that they can carry this Zanpakuto around with them at all times and can fully use their powers. And like so many things,
I'm actually genuinely surprised he didn't say anything else about the Byakuya stuff.
the sword
That is true. You can also die of depression. Mentality, big deal.
reapers were already carrying.
Wait, you can die of depression? I guess he was reading the comment. I've never heard these things, so I'm genuinely curious. Can you die of depression? That doesn't even sound real, but what? Let's see here. Can you die of depression? I'm not seeing anything of that. I know depression can cause eating issues, sleeping issues, but I'm not seeing anything of depression killing you. Of course, there's the increased suicide rate with depression. But that's not cause of death. Like, if someone kills himself because they're extremely depressed, it's not the depression that killed them. Maybe I'm just not understanding this, but same with the will to live. Like I've never heard these things before. You can die from at least in that particular context, right? And same with depression. I've never heard of someone dying from depression.
Their swords around with them and using their powers to face the invaders in the first place. And why would this even be an order you're given now? A bunch of invaders enter into the soul society, which you generally can't enter without the help of another soul reaper, and defeat one of your best warriors, Jidambo. You have no idea who they are or what they want. Then before you can turn around and say this could be trouble, you find out they've just punched through the barrier into the Serite. Why the hell would you not allow your soul reapers to carry their weapons and use their full powers should they come across one of these invaders from the beginning? Why is this an order you even have to give? You're the protectors and balance keepers of the Bleach universe, and you're on
Bro, what do you mean? He's like, bro, why don't they just carry their Glocks around on them? Like, why don't they just open carry all over the place?
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? I feel like I'm just kind of scared to pull the time track, but I feel like they were carrying their swords around on them all the time. But yeah, I mean, even if they like, why wouldn't they carry their gun around with them all the time? Especially like after the invaders. I just did this whole rundown, like this whole scenario, like so people invade this and that and that and this, and you're just now giving them orders to carry around their weapons. It's like, yeah, that's pretty silly.
I mean, that's a little weird to just be like open carrying and like fighting people in the.
I know I liken them to police officers all the time, but I mean, police officers open carry all the time. It's part of being a police officer. You open carry when you're on the job, and I'm pretty sure soul reapers are almost always on the job, especially now when there's invaders into the Serite. Why wouldn't you? That was a pretty strange comment you made about like, why wouldn't they just carry around? It's like, yeah, why wouldn't they though? And I'm pretty sure they were. I feel like in the first meeting, they were just actually just walking around with their Zonpak toes. But I don't know why this is an order he's giving now though.
Streets. I think you should be like, hey man, like in times of peace, let's not like be walking around with our Glocks out, you know.
That's funny you say that because this isn't a time of peace. They're under attack by mysterious invaders.
No. Let's not have this kind of environment, bro. How about we put the straps away?
Attacked by an unknown force. Why would it take Reggie being defeated to give this order? You should have already known how powerful they were since all of you access can sense power levels. It's one of your abilities. Jesus, this old man is about as logical as Keith Luigi. Later on that night, the lieutenant of Squad 5 Momo goes to travel.
Please say something about that, please.
Well, none of them have fought any of them. Like,
oh, gee, he says the worst thing about it. I literally just say like you should have some idea of their power levels because you can sense their power levels, and he says none of them have fought them. You don't need to fight someone to know what their power levels are. If someone's if Ichigo and Ranger just having this all-out fight, they should be able to sense that happening. They fought from like, I don't know how long the fight went on, but it was like just regular broad daylight to like sundown. I don't know. In terms of in universe, I think they fought for like half an hour, 30-40 minutes, something like that. Nearly an hour. Just no one took note of that happening, I guess. No one took note of it happening until after it's already happened. Izuru comes up. I thought, man, I was really hoping to say something about Yama and his like decisions here, but man,
he's like, bro, can't you sense him? It's like not from like a continent away, dude.
What? Hold up, I gotta pull that back.
The place. I mean, that's a little weird to just be like open carrying and like fighting people in the streets. I think you should be like, hey man, like in times of peace, let's not like be walking around with our Glocks out, you know. Let's not have this kind of environment, bro. How about we put the straps away?
Attacked by an unknown force that potentially threatens said universe. Why would it take Reggie being defeated to give this order? You should have already known how powerful they were since all of you access can sense power levels. It's one of your abilities. Jesus, this old man is about as logical as Keith Luigi. Later on that night, the lieutenant of Squad 5 Momo goes to travel with Captain Isaac.
Well, none of them have fought any of them. Like, he's like, bro, can't you sense him? It's like not from like a continent away, dude. Like,
they can't sense them from a continent away. They're not a continent away. They're all in the Serite. What are you talking about? And by the way, they did sense the fight happening. They are like, people showed up there immediately after Renji fell. Hold on, there's a fire truck. Okay. So, yeah, so they knew sometime while the fight was going on, Soul Reapers were already headed there, and they only arrived at the end after the fight was already over. So they definitely were sensed. They just that they didn't notify anyone. They took long to get there. Like not from a continent away. Like what the fuck is he talking about? They're all in the same like city. Is he trying to say that they're too far away to sense each other?
usually being able to sense somebody's spiritual pressure, you have to be like right there next to them, right?
Holy. Oh, every time I feel like I've heard him say, dude, it's one thing for me to hear this from just randoms that I showed my video to, but from Bleach, usually in order to sense someone's power level, you have to be right there in front of them. What the fuck did you just say? I have to hear that again. Hold up.
There next to them, right?
Hold on, pull that shit back. Oh my god, these people outside.
The order you're given now. A bunch of invaders entered into the Soul Society.
Hold on. And this bar sucks, by the way.
The universe. Why would it take Reggie being defeated to give this order? You should have already known how powerful they were since all of you access can sense power levels. It's one of your abilities. Jesus, this old man is about as logical as Keith Luigi. Later on that night, the lieutenant of Squad 5 Momo goes to chat with Captain Isaac.
Well, none of them have fought any of them. Like, he's like, bro, can't you sense
They don't know how strong they are because they haven't fought them, because they're too far away.
It's like not from like a continent away.
A continent away? What the hell? What I don't know. Why would he say that? I don't know why he would say a continent away. It's like they're all in the Serite.
Hey, dude, like,
as far as this whole like you can only sense people that's right in front of you, that's 100% false. They sense people all the time, all over the Serite. It's just that it's not convening to the plot at a particular time. Same like just like I mentioned how people show up after it's already happened. and it's like while it's happening, it's like no one else exists. They're aware of it's happening. It's just that they don't make it there in time. It's the same thing with same thing that happened with Toshiro. Same thing that happened with Renji again later on. It's the same thing that happened with Ichigo again later on. The same thing that happens with these characters over and over again. People know they're there. They just don't arrive in time. And on top of that, I mean, sure, I don't have any idea how far away the people are, but neither do you. I guess you're just assuming that it's in your favor that, you know, they're too far away. I don't know why he said that thing about power levels. You can't sense someone that isn't right in front of you. That's fucking 100% incorrect. I don't know where the fuck you just pulled that from.
Actually, being able to sense somebody's spiritual pressure, you have to be like right there next to them, right? Like you have to be fighting them.
Complete bullshit, but okay.
Not from like a continent away, dude.
Why does he keep saying from a continent away? Is being on one side of the Serite to the other side of Serite considered to be like a whole entire continent between you? Assuming that these people are actually in these positions because we have no idea where they are in proximity to each other.
Dude, like far away. That's very odd. Like that's a super weird critique, dude.
It's a
open care.
It's a weird critique that they should be able to sense their power levels because that's one of their abilities, and that Yamamoto has to give an order for them to carry around their Zanpakutos when they're under attack.
All over the place. Yeah, it is very weird. Why? Like
what the I'm convinced he's just like losing it at this point. First of all, Soripa's already open carry. It's very strange that that's an order he had to give. That's already a thing that Soripa's just do in general. And why is it weird for like, it's, once again, I liken them to police officers. I love doing that. Why is that weird for them to open carry? Bleachhub, is it weird when you see a cop with a gun on his hip? What the I do remember the first time I saw this video last year that as it went on, it kind of just deteriorated. I don't know what the fuck happened to him or his brain. But
of course you need to justify that. Like why would you need to carry your weapon around everywhere? Like
because they're Soripa captains.
It's times of peace. Why do you
because they're Soripas, period, really.
You need your weapon at all times. Like it's very weird.
Jesus. I know I keep pausing and I'm genuinely at a loss for words.
Super weird, super odd. Well, like having Renji actually get defeated is like a way to blatantly show like, oh yeah, these people are like, not only are they this strong, but they're also this skilled as well.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they should be able to sense Ichigo and his friends. You know what's weird about their sensory abilities? He talks about how, like, you know, they're not close enough or they can suppress themselves. But later on, characters just casually find whoever they need to find when the plot demands it. Not only that, but they can even identify who's a Ryoka from who's just anybody else. Because, you know, they do that thing where everyone has their own kind of strand. So, like, they know who's a Soul Reaper, who's a Quincy. Like, they're even able to differentiate from who's a Ryoka from basically who's just, like, someone they've never met before or have ever sensed. Crazy, though.
She dozes off as nearly for the next captain's meeting. On her way, the zone's up to his chest. Now I like this. It's a nice bit of mystery and a good swerve for the audience. And obviously the viewer knows.
So, okay, so
what's up?
You like the only bit of foreshadowing and like setup that everybody else likes, but all the other foreshadowing you don't like.
Well, it's not really. He hops on about foreshadowing quite a bit. I like the misdirection, the mystery, the bit of a thriller going on here, because once again, like I mentioned here, my reason for liking it, we obviously know as the audience, Ichigo and the gang didn't do it. So it had to be someone in the inner circle, someone already in the Serite. There has to be something else going on here. I don't really like this for foreshadowing for what comes later. I like this for what it is, a big mystery. Well, because later on we find out Aizen's alive and he faked his own death, but this isn't really me liking it because, like, you're going about foreshadowing, but, and he does that a lot, but it's not really the foreshadowing that made me enjoy this scene and what's happening here. It's what's happening while I'm enjoying this scene.
I feel like, because, like, where's the cringy critique of this, bruh? Where's the cringy
critique of this? What would be my critique of this? Momo overslept. She went to her captain. She overslept. On her way to the meeting, because, you know, she slept for too long, she finds her captain dead. What would be my critique for this? Clearly something happened in the night while she was passed out. I don't have anything for this. I like this whole entire episode. As a matter of fact, the whole thing about the whole entire episode about well, I guess the second half of the episode about this whole who killed him, what happened, and Geen. By the way, I really hate the stuff with Geen and how Aizen did that whole thing, but I do like the idea of something clearly else is going on inside the Serite that the gang has nothing to do with and knows nothing about. The mystery. I don't know what he's going on by cringy critique. I do have a critique for Geen being here though.
Critique of being
I don't think I mentioned it in the video.
like, oh, what? Aizen died overnight? What? Isn't that so cliche?
What? What's the I get what he's trying to do because he's trying to make it seem like my critiques hold no weight, but I mean, what would I even say here? He died he clearly left and died and got pinned on this wall towards wherever their meeting is.
That the guy that said he's gonna help us out just dies? What? Like, come on, bro. Where's the cringy critique of this one, man? At least keep your cringy critiques consistent.
Oh, here we go. We're getting there. Oh man, I think most of my critiques have been pretty solid, and I've been able to pretty strongly fight back against the stuff and the issues you have with my critiques. But okay.
So the suspect number one would be Geen Ichimaru, the guy Toshiro actually warned Momo about, and the most suspicious looking, acting, and sounding captain amongst the Gold 13. But one small problem here. Toshiro was worried enough about Momo to actually give her a warning about Geen, and even thought Aizen was in danger. But when this nothing to do here, be to take this directly to change the head captain. Why just tell Momo if you think the life of another captain is in danger by another captain? All while you're dealing with invaders. Momo's so angry at Geen that she releases her Sanpaku and tries to blow his ass up. Izuru steps in to protect his captain, and just as they're about to
Doesn't have anything to say about that? About how Toshiro is like suspicious of Geen and what's happening here, because there's a scene in the after the first meeting where Geen and Aizen stop and talk to each other because Aizen's a moron. We'll get more into because Aizen's an absolute idiot, but we'll get more into that later on. But it's like, you think a captain might be in danger by another captain, and even your friend, why wouldn't you take that up to Yamamoto? Strange. But yeah, it turns out Toshiro's suspicions were confirmed because, well, the captain is now dead. The same two captains he saw talking to each other, one of them is dead now, and the other one's just hanging out there. Surprised Bleachhub didn't bring this up.
get into it. Toshiro stops the fight. The other lieutenants were just kind of watching until Toshiro.
Oh, is he? Is it?
The show was just awful.
Oh, nothing. I guess he just.
I will report this incident to the head captain.
What? So weird.
What's
Weird, yeah. The person she looks up to got murdered by someone that she thinks is someone else. Of course, she's gonna like come bop this dude. Like, come on.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Whoop. All right. I need to pull that back.
One more about, and the most suspicious looking, acting, and sounding captain amongst the Gold 13.
Hold on. Let me pull that back further.
Like, oh, what? Aizen died overnight? What? Isn't that so cliche that the guy that said he's gonna help us out just dies? What? Like, come on, bro. Where's the cringy critique of this one, man? At least keep your cringy critiques consistent.
Had nothing to do with this. So the suspect number one would be Geen Ichimaru, the guy Toshiro actually warned Momo about, and the most suspicious looking, acting, and sounding captain amongst the Gold 13. But one small problem here. Toshiro was worried enough about Momo to actually give her a warning about Geen, and even thought Aizen was in danger. But when this nothing to do here, be to take this directly to change the head captain. Why just tell Momo if you think the life of another captain is in danger by another captain? All while you're dealing with invaders. Momo's so angry at Geen that she releases her Sanpaku and tries to blow his ass up. Izuru steps in to protect his captain, and just as they're about to get into it, Toshiro stops the fight. The other lieutenants were just kind of watching until Toshiro tells them to arrest Momo and Izuru because the directing of the show was just awful.
I will report this incident to the head captain.
What? So weird. So weird, yeah. The person she looks up to got murdered by someone that she thinks is someone else.
This is one of those other things where his brain just goes into another dimension. I didn't say anything about that at all. Maybe that played by too fast, but this is what I said. I talk about how Toshiro warned Momo of someone. Well, I basically just explained it already. And then, well, here he says, I will report this in. So, yeah, so they start fighting, and the other lieutenants are kind of just watching. Toshiro steps in, tells them to break it up, and has them arrested by the other lieutenants, and says he's going to report it to the head captain. And I mentioned, I hope you plan to report more than just this incident. I hope you plan to report the whole thing about your suspicions of Aizen and Geen from the very beginning. That little conversation that they had, that clear, like, ominous undertone that you do believe that Geen is responsible. But I don't think he actually ever does that. But yeah, I'm not sure what Bleachhub's going on about here. I didn't mention anything.
Of course, she's gonna like come bop this dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, I didn't say any. I don't have an issue with them breaking out into a fight. I have an issue with Geen being here. I don't have an issue with Momo thinking it was him and being very upset about it. I don't know why he's. Again, I don't know where his brain is going.
Get these two out of my sight.
I hope you kind of report much more than just that. And that was really
Bleachhub Seth's totally not Mark. What the fuck, dude?
for Momo, and with some clearly suspicious death of Captain Aizen, literally a few hours after he warned Momo. It's great. It's just that though she was handling the situation was pretty poor, especially for a character who's supposed to be a child prodigy. But back to our main boy. Ichigo's fully recovered and head back on track with Puss Boy and Gum.
A child prodigy at fighting. They didn't mean that he was like they didn't mean that he was like a big brain individual. Like when they say prodigy, they mean about fighting, dude. Come on, bro.
Is that what that was referring to? I genuinely can't even. I have to check that again. I thought that meant he was a child prodigy because of how, like, for his young age, how good and experienced he is. And, of course, his power level. I didn't know it was just because of his strength why he was considered a child prodigy. Oh, a child prodigy is someone who is a master of one or more skills or arts at an early age. Oh, I guess he could have just been his power level then.
He was like, bro, why is this guy not L? Why is this not an L and Kira battle right now?
Wait, what?
Where's my intelligence, bro? Like, bro, it's a shonen. Relax, dude.
Oh, it's a shonen, so that... Wait, hold on. Let me hear that again. I don't remember this part.
A child prodigy at fighting. They didn't mean that he was like... they didn't mean that he was like a big brain individual. Like, when they say prodigy, they mean about fighting, dude. Come on, bro. He was like, bro, why is this guy not L? Why?
No. I don't need him to be L. I just need him to be normal. Like, any normal person would have reported the incident, what happened, and what happened prior to that with Toshiro when he hears Aizen's and Gin's conversation. That's it. I don't know what this L he's going on about. I don't know what this L person is he's going on about, but I mean, sure, even if he's not a prodigy, that what I said still should stand. He should plan on reporting everything to Yama.
Why is this not an L and Kira battle right now?
Oh, L and Kira? I think that's Death Note.
Where's my intelligence, bro? Like, bro, it's a shonen.
So shonen means no intelligence? That's what I guess that's what you think I think, which I don't think that at all. Why isn't there any intelligence? So because it's a shonen means it's okay for it to be unintelligent and the characters to be stupid, silly, and have bad writing.
Relax, dude.
Before he gets woken up by a bunch of sword outside and kicks their asses. You see what I mean? It's like Ichigo and Ganju's a bit more understand.
What do you mean he's only getting found now? Like, Chad has been fighting.
All these characters should have been found. They should have been found and apprehended.
In a nap, he was crashing. What do you mean?
I don't know how the hell he was even able to just sleep in some random house without being found, to be honest with you. Everyone should have already been found and apprehended. What's even crazy is that later on, I didn't bring it up in my video either. Later on, we find out that there's an entire, like, stealth division. And Yoruichi can just summon a bunch of shinobi. It has, like, an execution force and all this. They have all these extras. I mean, how come? And none of these people were actually sent out to find the intruders. They clearly know how powerful they are. If they didn't before, they do now. And it's like, you're not sending out anyone capable. First of all, you should have known their power level from the very beginning. I'm sorry.
Well, even they should have been caught by now. And where the fuck is Yoruichi? These sorcerers are so incompetent. They're more
Yeah, Yoruichi was gone for like 3 days.
like stormtroopers than balance keepers of the universe, to be honest. After the little scuffle, Chad acts on the job of sword.
Yes, they're actual fodder goons. Of course they're incompetent.
Oh, not just these people, but I'm referring to everyone. Balance keepers, I'm referring to all the Zoro Reapers, not just like the weaker ones. They're all pretty dumb.
This guy is like, bro, why can't the stormtroopers like capture Darth Vader, bro? They're incompetent. It's like, yeah, they're goons. They're normal people.
What about the top tier guys? They're included in this too. When I say they seem like stormtroopers and the balance keepers of the universe, I am including the lieutenants and captains alike. They're very, very incompetent, very stupid.
Where to find Rukia, he heads off. Ichigo and Ganju are also making their way to Rukia once again, although a bit ahead of Chad. Now maybe Ichigo was completely oblivious to Chad's spiritual power, but they really should have just waited for him to regroup. That's what all these assholes should be doing. But regardless, they're both caught off by captains. Ichigo confronted by Kenpachi and Chad by Shunsui. Finally, after like 4 goddamn days, the captain finds one of these intruders. Even though Kenpachi didn't actually find them, he kind of just waited for them on the path to Rukia. Same with Shunsui. Now, how did Kenpachi know they'd be coming for Rukia this way? Well, if you remember, his lieutenant Ikako told Ichigo where to find Rukia. Then told Kenpachi, he told Ichigo, so Kenpachi was to Ichigo. How Shunsui knew someone would be coming this way is beyond me. You might
Hold on, turn this up a little bit more.
say it's because he can sense their spiritual pressure, but why the fuck would the captain be able to sense the intruder's spiritual pressure?
I mean, dude, Shunsui didn't. Wait. Shunsui's not at a. He's not at a roadblock. Shunsui's at home, dude.
How do you know? He's just in a random house, just lying down on the floor.
What do you mean Shunsui knew somebody was coming this way? Dude, Shunsui's at home
No, I'm saying, how did he know someone would be coming that way?
taking a nap, dude.
Is that what's happening in that scene? Shunsuke just went home without any. So, and then Chad just comes upon him, and then his lieutenant wakes him up saying he's here. There's no.
To roam around for so long. Why are they even waiting for Ryoka to randomly just show up so they can...
Dude, I don't believe that. Hold on. I have to actually check that. I'm going to check that. Give me a moment. When did Shunsuke?
And why?
Same revenge.
That was before this.
The manifest.
Damn, I have to go far back.
Whoever it was.
He's here, Captain. It's the Ryolka.
Holy hell, that does look like his squad. Holy shit, it was his squad barracks. Maybe he's, well, yeah, his logo's on it. I didn't notice that. Well, I stand corrected. He didn't know Chad would be coming that way. He just went home to chill, and someone came that way. Damn. So I guess up to this point, only Kenpachi's actually seeking out the Ryoka. And he only wants to fight because he's strong. Alright, well, man. Error again. Shunsuke was just chilling in his house when Chad came upon him.
Cut them off instead of actively pursuing each one of his friends. The only way this would make sense is if the captains couldn't sense the Ryoka's spiritual pressures, which would make no sense, and make the magic system in the show even...
Or Kenpachi knows where the prisoner is being held, so Kenpachi's like, let me wait by the...
No. The rest of what I'm saying here has nothing to do with Kenpachi. I don't know what Bleachhub is just out of this world right now. I literally just went down a whole thing about how Kenpachi knew Ichigo would be coming this way. And I talk about why none of the captains are actually, or anyone is pursuing, or any high level is pursuing the Soul Reapers up to this point. Let me pull that back, so just because I did a long pause there to search up, was that Shunsuke's actual place, and it was his place.
What do you mean?
Well, even they should have been caught by now. And where the fuck is Yoichi? These Soul Reapers are so incompetent, they're more like stormtroopers than Balance Keepers of the universe, to be honest. After the little scuffle, Chad asked on the job of Soul Reaper.
Yes, they're actual fodder goons. Of course they're incompetent. This guy is like, bro.
On the path to Rukia. Same with Shunsuke. Now, how did Kenpachi know they'd be coming for Rukia this way? Well, if you remember, his lieutenant Ikaku told Ichigo where to find Rukia. Then told Kenpachi, he told Ichigo, so Kenpachi was to Ichigo. How Shunsuke knew someone would be coming this way is beyond me. You might say it's because he can sense their spiritual...
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, I explained. So the Kenpachi part, I've already gone down. The Shunsuke part was incorrect. He didn't know someone was coming down that way. He was just at home resting when Chad accidentally came upon him.
Why the fuck would the captains be able to sense each other's spiritual pressure?
I mean, dude, Shunsuke didn't... Wait. Shunsuke's he's not at a roadblock. Shunsuke's at home, dude.
Yeah.
What do you mean Shunsuke knew somebody was coming this way? Dude, Shunsuke's at home taking a nap.
Yeah, that's actually true. Even though I do think I think that's actually worse for the captains. That makes them look even worse when I talk about how bad they are and incompetent. That Shunsuke just goes home and doesn't give a damn about the invaders. He's just like catching a nap, and his lieutenant's like, "Hey, he's coming. He should probably get up now." That actually makes the captains look worse. Like, why aren't you pursuing the invaders? Can't you not sense them? Because I mentioned that's the only way that would make sense is if you can't sense them, which would make no sense. So they have to be able to sense the invaders, but that means the captains and the higher ups, a lot of the lieutenants are just choosing not to pursue the invaders. Instead, just sending out jobbers, hoping that they find them, even though like they should know the invaders are stronger than a lot of these low tier Soul Reapers. The invaders are like lieutenant level, bro. At the very least. Ichigo becomes captain level too. By the way, captain level, lieutenant level, all that really means is like you're as strong as, if not stronger than, the weakest captain. That's really what it means, because it's all really just power level. But yeah, let's get back into it.
To roam around for so long. Why are they even waiting for Ryoka to randomly just show up so they can cut them off instead of actively pursuing?
Yeah, it's even worse though. If he didn't actually care, and he's just like, he doesn't even actually care. He's not even actually waiting for Ryoka. He's just like, hey, whatever happens with the Ryoka and everybody else, I don't give a damn. Is that what the rest of the captains are doing? I know automatically Aizen, Gin, and Kaname are out of it. But Sajin, right on screen right here, they're right here. Sajin, Byakuya, why am I forgetting their names? Yoruichi, Shunsuke, their lieutenants. Toshio just dealt with the Gin thing. Mayuri, he eventually like starts pursuing Uryu. What the? Are they just doing nothing? Because what's happening here, like the whole them coming across captains now is very like for a while, for a couple of days, nothing was happening. No one was pursuing them except just random, random people they would just come across randomly.
Each one of his friends. The only way this would make sense is if the captains couldn't sense the Ryoka's spiritual pressures, which would make no sense, and make the magic system in the show even.
Or Kenpachi knows where the prisoner is being held.
Yeah, I went down this whole thing about how Kenpachi knew where Ichi was going to be already.
Strong person like chilling in it, right? Because Chad is literally just running around the entire place. Like he's aimlessly running around trying to get like directions from random Shinigami.
Yeah.
And he bumps into Shunsui, who's like taking a nap.
Even more inconsistent.
For a single Ryoka, it'd be more than enough.
No, we've been over this already. This is a direct order from old man Yamamoto. He doesn't want anyone to know we're still having problems with these pesky Ryoka.
Oh, really? Well, then maybe he should just send out a stealth force to find and apprehend the intruders, or I don't know, just to select few captains to actually pursue them instead of doing literally nothing. And to make matters worse, Kenpachi...
Yeah. He's just having them run around. He tells everyone to go to their battle stations in the first meeting after they actually got into the Serite. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it was a mistranslation. Maybe he just told them to go back to their barracks because they didn't do anything, bro. The captains are just kind of gone. We have them for the second meeting where he gives them authorization to carry their weapons around. Then they're just gone after that. And we see Shunsui. And Toshiro was dealing with the Gin thing. We see Toshiro quite a bit. And Shunsui's just chilling at home. I have no idea what the hell anybody else is in. Obviously, once again, Aizen and Kaname are out of it because, you know, they have their own thing going on. But yeah, Yamamoto just doesn't do anything. I would talk about this man just as logical as Kisuke. I want to see if Bleachhub says anything about this.
Information on these invaders' objectives, and like I mentioned earlier, he's just looking for a good fight.
Nothing. Nothing about how Yama didn't interested. I'm gonna assume, like, I'm gonna have to assume that when he's just quiet on my critiques, that they're actually, he just doesn't have anything for it. He agrees with it or anything like that. Would it be wise to assume that? Because I don't really. I'm expecting him to say something about the whole thing about what Yama not actually trying to find the Ryoka and apprehend him is preventing any more shenaniganry from happening.
Part of his character. It's his whole goddamn character. To the point where Kenpachi really doesn't care much about what's happening and the possible dangers that might be caused to the world around him. He'll only ever take the route to make the decisions that will lead him to fighting the strongest people he can. Now I know what you're thinking. I was thinking the same thing too. Why the hell is this guy a captain? Well, Squad 11 is a squad that anyone can become a captain of, so long as you defeat the current captain, and defeat can also include killing. Now once again, I know what you're thinking. Why would Yama allow a squad to exist where simply any random guy with a decent enough power level can kill the previous captain and gain all the power and authority? What kind of barbaric primitive shit is this? That's how Kenpachi became captain, by the way. He literally just strolled into the Serite one day, killed the last captain of Squad 11, and took his coat. Squad 11 is the only squad like this.
Yeah, he's letting it play out a little bit, and I just want to cut in here. I don't know. It's really bizarre to me that Yamamoto would allow something like this to happen. To allow a squad to exist with just anyone. I've wondered before, like, is the line at actual people or Soul Reapers, or can actual, like, a hollow show up? Like, I'm assuming it can't go to that extreme, though. Even though the entire squad and the entire barrack seems to be okay with this for this particular squad. You know, but it's just like, why would you? You really shouldn't have this, man. Like, how long has this squad been like this? Like, Yama, you really shouldn't have a squad where, like, if Kenpachi is really strong and you want him, then just have him. But you definitely shouldn't be giving him the power and authority of a captain, just some random dude you don't know. Just stroll into the Serite and killing a captain off a rip. But like I said, it's not really like a big deal because that particular squad seems to just respect that rule, even though I don't know why Yamamoto would stand by that. That is just incredibly foolish. Like barbaric and primitive, as I say.
All his members seem to be okay with it, but it really makes me wonder where the line is for the squad. What if the guy who beats the current captain isn't a Soul Reaper but a Hollow or Quincy? I don't know.
Because
yeah,
Squad 11 is
I
like
genuinely am curious to hear this.
Vanguard unit, right? Like Squad 11 is considered to be the Gote 13's strongest division. So obviously, yeah, you could just be like, okay, we want to have the strongest captain possible. So
that's interesting. Squad 11, I mean, maybe it is considered that, but it definitely isn't that. But
some random schmuck from the like.
Yeah. So about having the strongest guy possible, it's like, sure, if you want to have the strongest guy in the squad, why would he be a captain though? Why would you make him a captain? Just some random guy who kills your previous captain. Fortunately for them, Kenpachi isn't just well, I mean, he's kind of crazy. He's not just some lunatic who just fights any and everybody. You just not some mass murder. He's not like Mayuri, put it like that, who's just basically just a straight up serial killer. Actually, like, unironically a bad person, right? But it's just like, if you want to just have strong people, that's fine. Like this dude, Byakuya is stronger than Kenpachi. So is Yoruichi. There's quite a few people stronger than this squad. It's funny that he's like, this is considered the Vanguard squad to be the strongest. They're definitely not, bruh. Compared to a lot of the other strongs, they're extremely weak. For a Vanguard squad, you're really not that strong, to be honest with you. There's quite a few squads better than you in terms of just raw strength and power.
the Rukung guy can just pull up and kill our captain, then our current captain obviously wasn't even that good.
Yeah, but Kenpachi isn't that strong compared to the other captains, though. I'm actually surprised he's actually defending the whole idea that there's a squad that exists where some random guy can kill the captain, and they have to respect the rule of the squad. Like, Yamamoto should have torn that down long ago. That is incredibly foolish. Kaname actually has beef with that whole thing, too. We get into it later.
Bro, how do you even understand this video? Dude, I'm just built different, dude. I'm just built entirely different.
Yeah, you are.
Slow the speed down? No. Dude, we have a whole nother 48-minute video to go. No, bro. We have another 48-minute video to go. No, I will not slow down. No, we have a whole ass another 48-minute video to go, dude. Fuck no.
This one's almost done.
Plus, this is the tradition of the Kenpachi anyway, so it's a traditional thing in the Soul Society as well.
Yeah, but then again, I've already said Yamamoto's about as logical as Kisuke, so maybe he's just dumb that he let this actually just happen. Let a squad like this exist. I'm probably going to have to break this up into 3 parts, bro. I've been doing this for too long.
That person still be made captain because the only prerequisite for being captain of the squad is power level. No skill, brains, experience, or character. But back to our current dilemma. Ichigo stands his ground to face Kenpachi and Gojo.
Ah, there we go. He wants his death note set. He says...
Why does he keep saying... I'm making a issue to point out that it's power level. There's no experience or brain or any sort of... Nothing else required other than just raw power for this captain. And he just automatically goes till he wants his death note. Why does he keep doing that? It's true. You could be a complete retard. As long as you're a strong retard, you will be the captain of the squad. Just beat the last guy. That is a thing. But he keeps going to this death note.
He says no brains, experience, or like intelligence, bro. He's like, wait a minute.
But that's true though. It's power. Okay.
He's like, wait a minute. Where's my death note?
I'm saying this squad shouldn't exist for those exact reasons. Kaname has beef with that too because it's just like, you're just some random guy. You some crazy dude who killed the last captain, bro. I never liked you. You only love to fight, which is pretty common in the squad, by the way. People usually love to fight.
Where's my death note in Bleach, bro? It's just like, dude, it's a shonen. It's a shonen.
I've never come across this before. And when I showed this video to other people, the whole like, dude, it's a shonen. Why do you want it to be so smart? Or why are you putting all this thought into it? I don't even think this is anything too crazy or deep right here. I mean, I'm just talking about how this squad doesn't require anything other than power level. Like, I'm actually kind of confused. I mean, yeah, I know it's a shonen, man. That's where the escalation protocol comes in, where it's all just power level and power creep. That's definitely, I think that's a big staple of these like shonens with hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
Not everything's gonna be Death Note, bro.
What? Bro, I just wanted to make a little bit of sense, Bleachhub. I want it to be rational. I want the characters to have a brain.
Come on.
So we learned 2 very important things here. Kenpachi is the strongest person Ichigo has ever come across, besides Byakuya, of course, and that having a much higher spiritual pressure than someone else means you can basically nullify their attacks without even really trying. I mean, damn, this sure seems like something...
Bro, he said besides Byakuya, of course. Hey, what you trying to say, big dog? What you trying to say?
I'll tell you exactly what I'm trying to say. Byakuya will slap Kenpachi. At this time, it's the same with Kisuke. Byakuya is way... It's funny, you talk about the whole, like, they're kind of the vanguard. Byakuya is so much stronger than Kenpachi, it's not even funny, bro. Renji is so much stronger than Ikako, which is not even funny. Although that gap is much greater with Byakuya and Kenpachi. Way beyond Kenpachi. Way, way, way beyond him. It's actually... It's... The last captain that Kenpachi beat must have been absolute dog shit to keep it a stack. He definitely must have been trash, but I don't know how experienced he was. I don't know how good of a man he was, or a woman, or whoever the hell he was. But yeah, Byakuya is actually like really just a devastating character in terms of power level and ability to a lot of the early characters. Really something.
What you trying to get into? What you trying to say about Kenpachi, huh?
Is a lot weaker than Byakuya. Kenpachi is actually very weak. It's much like Kisuke. It's just really, compared to just like when you take in the context and later on, they're extremely weak. And other characters will absolutely just shit on them.
What you trying to say?
Not even characters like Aizen really, but even just their fellow captains.
Bro. What are you...
Dude, I'm unironically wondering if Joshiro could beat Kenpachi. And I think I would actually bet on him in a death battle. Soul Society, Kenpachi versus Joshiro. I think I'd actually go with Joshiro.
What are you implying? You know what I'm saying? What's up, bro?
Ichigo should have been told before coming here, but not really much point in hating on Master Urahara now, since surely with this much of a power gap and no Rukia to argue for his sake, there's no way Ichigo's gonna make it out of this one. So might as well just make his peace with God. Or maybe he'll get a main character power. Ichigo literally just tries harder, and he not only closes the gap in power, but even surpasses Kenpachi. Kenpachi even knows how Ichigo's...
Lol, he said Ichigo just tries hard.
I mean, that is kind of what happened, bro. Kenpachi beat him down and left him there. He got a talk from Zangetsu. He's like, well, we're together now. You know, like I said, Ichigo is fortified. And he starts fighting with Kenpachi just toe to toe. And Kenpachi's loving it, right? He takes off his eye patch and he powers up, like you see right here. He powers up to his fullest. He's not holding back at all. And Ichigo is still just blow for blow. Eye of the Tiger, right? Still just keeping up with Kenpachi.
I mean, to be fair, it is just like Ichigo and Zangetsu being like, we're gonna work together, right? The whole point of this fight, like the narrative.
I want you should have been working at what? I don't. We already been through this whole thing when he trained with Kisuke. They should already be working together. He just tries harder and gets stronger. The whole thing that Zangetsu, it's like, well, now Zangetsu's on his side. What the fuck were you the whole time? You're my Zanpakuto spirit, bro. We already knew you were on my side since I did the Kisuke training. What the fuck?
Is that it's like Ichigo works with his Zanpakuto, whereas like Kenpachi doesn't work with his Zanpakuto and completely disregards it. So it's like, this is to show the power of working together versus the power of being by yourself, right?
Yeah, but they even.
It's to show that like working together or like, you know, working with people will make you far stronger than you can get on your own, right? That's the whole narrative of this fight, which I guess just whoop went over this dude's head.
Yeah, it didn't. I'm completely aware that Zangetsu steps in. Ichigo tries harder, fortifies himself, and is now as strong as Kenpachi.
Spiritual pressure keeps rising and rising until they have the last big clash in the fight.
Even now, your spiritual force still increases. Excellent. Of course.
Now, this is something that happens a lot in these big shonens that's filled to the brim with fights, but why? At what point does a writer say, I'm just going to rely on smart writing and clever characters to carry my boy through his journey and lay out the random power-ups? I'm sure this isn't something Kubo thinks much about, since random power-ups is the only hand Kubo ever plays for Ichigo. And I don't just mean up until this point, but in the future as well. Whenever his back is up against the wall, some nonsense happens that just makes him stronger. Even when someone actually kills him, he gets stronger. And no, I'm not making that up.
Well, I think you're also missing out on the like the whole idea that like emotions play a very big role when it comes to Bleach, right? Like your emotional state drastically increases or decreases the amount of spiritual pressure you have and the efficientness that you have with your spiritual pressure. So that is also a big thing. Like that Grimmjow scene, that's not a random power up. That's like Ichigo getting more resolved, right? Like he's more like certain of that, which is also true in
bro, in that Grimmjow scene where he turns around and looks. Oh my god, you guys need to go watch that episode when Grimmjow needs to go have their final fight. They go from being neck and neck to when Orihime says don't die. He just like he puts his hands up and catches Grimmjow just complete. It's as if he just goes from like base Goku to Super Saiyan 3, bro. You're telling me that his resolve has that much of an effect on his power level? He just completely dogs. Grimmjow comes at him full speed, and it's like Grimmjow goes from being his complete equal to literally fodder. It's like a Dongai gap when Ichigo came back to fight Aizen in his final Getsuga Tenjo form. I mean, I guess your resolve that has that much of an effect on you, even though like something like that only ever happens one time and with Ichigo.
In Naruto as well. There's like amps in Naruto that are very similar as well.
This might work especially for younger audience, but it just really removes all the stakes from any fight Ichigo has with anyone. And no, I'm not expecting some Game of Thrones type writing where the viewer actually thinks the main character can die at any time, but why write it like this and make it so blatantly obvious that Ichigo...
I mean, Ichigo can die at any time. In fact, he's killed twice by Ukiura, so...
That's my whole thing, though. When I talk about how Ichigo even literally dies, he just comes back to life with even more power. I'm surprised he brought that up about how Ichigo can. No, he can't. He literally can't.
Power level arise whenever the fight demands it. In the end, Ichigo and Kenpachi are both in the same near-death condition, although Kenpachi says Ichigo won before falling over. His lieutenant Yachiru takes him away, and guess who finally shows up? Yoruichi. I sure hope this pussy has a good explanation for where he's been for 3 fucking days, especially where he was during the Ikaku fight, the Reggie fight, throughout Ichigo, Uryu, and Chad, encountering, fighting, and running from literally dozens of Soul Reapers, and why he's only just showing up now at the end of the Kenpachi fight. Just couldn't get there a couple minutes earlier, huh? Despite this fact being able to fucking teleport. Ganju and Hinata were persona had to find Ruki and take out the 2 completely useless guards in front of her cell.
Nothing about the whole Yoruichi thing?
They get inside and find her and are approached by Byakuya. While that's happening, we get back to Ichigo and Yoruichi. He brought Ichigo to a cliffside and fixed up his wounds.
It was you who saved my life, wasn't it? Thanks for doing that.
Be thankful for your strong life force. Without it, you never would survive such serious wounds, no matter what I did.
Strong life force? What the hell does that even mean?
Chad was lucky to fight who he did.
It's exactly what it sounds like it means, bro.
What do you mean it's exactly what it sounds like it means? There is nothing in Bleach called life force. This is the first we've heard of this.
Like, bro.
Oh, I remember this. This is where he searches up the definition. He was like, what do you mean you don't know what strong life force means? And he searches up the definition of the word life and force. I don't remember how he even put it together. It's like, let me see this.
It's like, I don't know.
So we hear this new term for the first time ever, right? Be thankful to his strong life force. I mean, if anything, they really should just use his power level, like a strong spiritual pressure. But life force, I don't, no idea what that is in terms of Bleach. And this one is not a real thing in real life, so it's clearly like a thing, a part of this particular universe, Bleach, supernatural aspects to it. We've never heard of this before. But I do remember Bleachhub searching up the definition of the word life and force.
You need it like spelled out, bro. Like, okay, hold on.
Well, just say it. What does life force mean?
Bro, I got you, bro.
All right, let's go. Let's see this. I remember this.
Strong
Uh-huh.
meaning life meaning force meaning. Let's break it down, all right? You did say what the fuck does this mean, all right?
Yeah, I certainly did.
So strong
Uh-huh.
as an adjective, right? Means having the power to move heavy weights or perform other physically demanding tasks.
Okay.
Or it also has the meaning of being able to withstand great force or pressure. Okay, so something about the life and the force is being described as being able to withstand great force and pressure. Okay. What is life? Well, that's a pretty loaded question, you know what I'm saying? It's the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continual change preceding death, or the existence of an individual human being or animal. So, his existence as an individual being, right, is able to withstand great force or pressure. And then force, I mean, strength or energy, right? So, I just don't know, man. Like,
I don't know either. I don't know either. Well, oh, hold on a second. Yeah. So they say be grateful to his strong life force. I'm just like, what the hell is life force? This is a new term. And he searches up the definition of strong life and force. I don't know why that would mean the same thing in Bleach. Even though it should be just like, shouldn't you have just said his power level? Oh, man, this is so weird. Life force isn't a real thing, Bleachhub. This is a thing specific to Bleach. This is not a real life thing. This is a thing that's only being brought up now, which we don't know what it is. Keep in mind, instead of actually explaining what life force is in Bleach, he decides to use the definition of strong life and force and put it together. Even though in Bleach, that doesn't even explain why Ichigo is still alive. It's just like with Renji. He's just lucky. He's just lucky to be alive. That he didn't just bleed out and die. First it was his will to live, and now his strong life force. If it's his power level, just say that, but why make up new terms?
Chad wounded but alive. Orihime and Uryu have avoided confrontation and so far haven't gotten a scratch. How the hell do
Damn.
you know, Luigi? Don't tell me you've just been watching over everybody, but still at the same time refusing to help them. You're starting to sound
hell yeah, yes.
I don't know why he just said that like it's a good thing, but okay. That's weird.
out here, and it turns out Yoichi's actually a female sword with the ability to turn into a cat, and she uses a weird device to fly to the cliffside. And as she's explaining this, they both sense Byakuya's spiritual pressure, and Ichigo hops up, takes the device, somehow knows how to use it, and flies away. Yoichi literally just watches as Ichigo takes off and doesn't even attempt to stop it. Ichigo flies all the way back to Byakuya, and I gotta call bullshit. Byakuya hasn't even done anything yet, and somehow Ichigo's able to sense their power from wherever the hell he was.
Oh yeah, this is another. I guess this is another time to talk about. I don't know how far they are away, but Ichigo senses Byakuya about to fight. This is Ichigo, by the way. This isn't even like some top tier captain, and just rushes back over to him. It's like, okay, I guess he's somehow like. Well, let me see what he says about this, about Ichigo actually coming back here.
And I would assume Yoichi took him a good distance away from where he fought Kapachi. And Ichigo is able to trail Byakuya's power all the way back to Rukio's holding cell. I mean, shit, if Ichigo could do that, he should have found his friends a long time ago. Anyway, Byakuya releases his song October 1st time and gets gone to a bunch of paper cuts.
Please say something about that Ichigo stuff. Please say something about the Ichigo stuff. Please say something. Oh, nothing about the Ichigo sensing him stuff. Okay.
And by weird, I mean stupid, but here he is. Rukia and Ichigo have a teary-eyed moment before Byakuya finally confronts Ichigo. He teleports behind him, and Ichigo actually blocks his initial attack. Now, there's something very important to take note here. You see, despite not having done any training since he entered the Serite, you'll notice Ichigo has gotten a lot stronger. First, he was Ikaku, then Renji, Kenpachi, and now Byakuya. And back then, he struggled quite a bit with Renji, who's significantly weaker than both Kenpachi and Byakuya. Ichigo, through just fighting, getting hurt, and recovering, just keeps getting stronger. In a way, the fights that he's been having have had the same effect of training, but Byakuya uses something called Flash Step. Now, Flash Step is actually teleporting, but I can't tell the difference. Byakuya's about to release his Sapa Torgen when Yoichi stops him. Crazy.
It's almost like Ichigo is now like a captain class dude. Like,
there was here we go again with me stating something that happens, explaining Ichigo's power level to the audience in case there's any confusion. It's like his fights have had the same effects as training, and he takes it as dude, why are you talking? What's the problem, dude? This is explained. It's like, yeah, I didn't state an issue. I didn't state a problem. I didn't state a misunderstanding. I've stated a fact, and he takes it as a critique.
Being a guy that's a captain, Jushiro says, "Man, this guy feels like he's pretty captain tier," and then Ichigo proceeds to fight another captain.
He responds, man. I would say something, and it's like he's responding to something else. Like his brain is just hearing other words.
And in Byakuya, it's almost like it shows progression, dude. Come on,
See
man.
how this bitch can travel so fast when football was missing for days on end when everyone landed in the cemetery. She knocks Ichigo out and runs away with him, and for some reason before she leaves, she tells Byakuya that in 3 days she'll make Ichigo stronger than him.
Nothing about the whole Yoruichi just showing up here this fast, even though she was missing for days on end in the cemetery. I guess not.
How you ask? Well, you just wait, because what we find out in a few minutes, I would actually venture to...
That was pretty funny, by the way, when Yoruichi's like, in a few days, I'll make this boy even stronger than you, Byakuya. Goodbye. It's like, what? Okay. Thanks for that information, Yoruichi. That's surely that won't prompt anyone to follow you.
Called the pinnacle of bad writing in the show. Byakuya doesn't pursue Yoruichi because I guess she's too fast, even though he and any other captain should be able to easily trace her and Ichigo's spiritual pressure to wherever the fuck she's going. Byakuya doesn't...
No, that's the whole point, is that she's too fast. Like, she was literally blitzing Byakuya the entire time. It's consistent. What are you talking about?
Even giving up for shit to even try and find her later.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Where is it? Let me hear that again.
It's like Ichigo's now like a captain class dude. Like,
Yes.
After being a guy that's a captain, Jushiro says, "Man, this guy feels like he's pretty captain tier," and then Ichigo proceeds to fight another captain in Byakuya. It's almost like it shows progression, dude. Come on.
Yes.
Football was missing for days on end when everyone landed in the cemetery. She knocks Ichigo out and runs away with him, and for some reason before she leaves, she tells Byakuya that in 3 days she'll make Ichigo stronger than him. How you ask? Well, you just wait, because what we find out in a few minutes, I would actually venture to call the pinnacle of bad writing in the show. Byakuya doesn't pursue Yoruichi because I guess she's too fast, even though he and any other captain should be able to easily trace her and Ichigo's...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, all right. In case that was too fast, I mentioned Byakuya doesn't pursue Yoruichi because she's too fast, even though that doesn't really matter, because you're a captain, you're Captain Byakuya, and you and anyone else should be able to trace wherever the hell she's going.
Wherever the fuck she's going. Byakuya doesn't...
No, that's the whole point, is that she's too fast. Like, she was literally blitzing Byakuya the entire time.
Yes. Once again. So I suppose she's too fast, even though it really doesn't matter how fast she is. They can just find you wherever you're going. They can just trace your power to wherever it is you're about to take Ichigo to.
It's consistent. What are you talking about?
Even giving up for shit to even try and find her later.
Yeah, I don't know why he got so upset about that. I was like, Byakuya doesn't prove because I guess he's too fast, even though he should be able to find her. But he doesn't touch on that part though, but okay.
Nor does he even care that Rukia is not out of her cell. He just ignores her and takes...
Makers are certainly prime suspects and an important source of information. Wouldn't want to kill you until we've investigated.
That's strange. This captain doesn't seem to be a complete moron. We finally get to check back in on Ubi and you won't fucking believe this. These guys stole clothes from a group of Soul Reapers they jumped and are masquerading as Soul Reapers.
I'm sneaky. Yes, sir. Thank you for reporting in.
Anyway, back to Ichigo.
That's just good. Like, that's just smart. Like, that's just like Uryu and like Orihime demonstrating that they have like they don't want to like brute force their way through things. They're like,
yeah, this can seem clever or smart because you're like, well, they're gonna blend in. Except this is not something they should be able to do. Soul Reapers can sense the difference between them and between another Soul Reaper and a Ryoka. And I'm pretty sure they should even be able to tell that Uryu is a Quincy, or at least isn't a normal Soul Reaper. They know they're invaders, is what I'm trying to say. They should know anyway, because that's how they kind of get caught anyway.
what if we just snuck around? Like, this is probably better.
I guess that's what happens when you don't fight for 100 years. You get so out of shape that after just a few dozen flash steps, you're exhausted.
Really? You haven't fought or trained in over 100 years? Okay. What did you...
Yeah, like, she's very rusty. There's not a problem with that at all. Like, that is just, like, information. Like, that is just information, dog. Like, come on.
Wakes up, Yoichi tells him that she brought him back to train, and that he alone can defeat Byakuya. I'm guessing that even though Yoichi's faster, or at least I think she is, Byakuya would still be here in a fight. Yoichi tells Ichigo that his Zanpakuto was always in the release form, i.e. a Shikai.
Well, I mean, she also just said that, like, she's 100 years out of experience. So
These two things can't go together. Yoruichi can't, you just went over how Yoruichi's faster, and I was like, I suppose she's faster, and you go over how she is able to blitz him. If she's able to blitz Byakuya, she can kill him. That's not how this works. She can't be able to, unless you would go from the angle that she can blitz Byakuya, like statue him. That's another term for it when you're just so much faster than someone. And when she tries to stab him, she can't pierce him. Unless that's the angle, unless that's the angle you're gonna go from, Yoruichi can kill Byakuya. So this whole thing about how I talk about how I guess even though she's faster, that she's not strong enough to kill him. It's like, well, if you can blitz him, you can beat him. You can't be that much faster than someone. That's not how Bleach works. You can't be this outrageously faster than someone to the point where you can blitz them and you can't kill him. If she can blitz him, she can beat him. So it's kind of strange how she's like, you alone can defeat Byakuya. It's like, Yoruichi, if you're that much faster than Byakuya, you can also beat Byakuya.
So yeah,
That's a huge staple in Bleach. It only takes years to gain and master, but with her method, a method that Master Uraharu invented, they'll be able to do it in 3 days. And this bullshit right here was the final straw for me, where I switched losing my monitor out the fucking window. If Kisuke knew about a place and a method to gain such power in a short amount of time, why wasn't this the plan all along? Since the moment Rukia was taken, enter this area and find this little hideout where he and Yoruichi used to train and help Ichigo get his own Bankai. And this is all assuming that this method could only...
because if it's a huge risk, and Kisuke's the only person that's done it.
Yeah, this is, well, I'm not even sure what the risk even is, because it doesn't make it clear if Ichigo would die from this or anything. From what I can see here, if he's not able to get the Bankai in 3 days, nothing really happens. I don't think he dies. As long as he's able to fight his Zangetsu to a standstill, nothing happens if the 3 days is up and he doesn't get a Bankai. He'll be stronger, but he just won't have a Bankai. And as for
like Yoruichi even says, like, yeah, like there's no guarantee that you can do it.
Yeah, there's no guarantee, but this is, I mean, this should have been the plan all along. If you're gonna be fighting through captains and try to pull Rukia out from on the everyone in the Serite's noses. I'm surprised he's actually defending this. It's actually kind of strange.
Like, Kisuke is the only person that's done it this way.
It doesn't matter. This should have been the... So instead of taking a chance and possibly having Ichigo not to get a Bankai, well, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's not going to die from this training. I think, well, you know what, maybe, let's say he could. Let's say he actually could have died from Zangetsu. Instead of taking the chance, you'd rather send him in against the captains and give him a situation where he's almost certainly going to die. Assume, once again, if it wasn't for the captains, just absolute stupidity. Where he's almost certainly going to fail and get captured at the very least.
Everybody else in Soul Society history, every other Shinigami had to do it the normal way, but were very desperate.
They were already desperate. They were desperate from the very beginning. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this method that Kisuke has, everyone else fails. Kisuke goes on about how Ichigo is going to be okay because of how gifted Ichigo is. That Ichigo is just as, if not more gifted than he is. This should have been the plan all along. That's a scene about how Kisuke thinks that that Ichigo is an anomaly in a way. And to be fair, Ichigo definitely is, because once again, Kisuke knows about the Hollow and his Quincy background, his Soul Reaper background, and that Ichigo is just on the inside, just outrageously more powerful than the vast amount of people. Kind of just everyone, honestly. But yeah, this should have been the plan. The risk doesn't matter. You're in the same situation. It's like, well, take the risk with the Bankai training and use the 3 days to actually do this method and come here. Once again, assuming that you actually have to come here for this method, because all you really need is the cardboard cutout. So do that, or just go up against the captains empty-handed. Uryu has his Super Quincy move that he used against Miyuri that killed him. Well, excuse me, didn't kill him, but put him in a situation where you had to retreat. Ichigo doesn't have anything. Ichigo's only other option is really just death. All the captains have Bankai, Kenpachi being the exception, because you become captain of that squad by just killing the previous captain, in which Ichigo really got lucky that he came across Kenpachi, honestly. That Ichigo got lucky that Kenpachi's the only fucking captain that he's even actually concerned about pursuing the Ryoka.
So we're gonna have to attempt this.
Be performed in the Soul Society, because this should have been done before they even left the world of the living. If you two absolute fucking retards know about Zanpakuto's second form all along, this should have been the priority for Ichigo if he's gonna be fighting through captains to get Rukia back. And why is Ichigo only being told about Bankais now? Something that in this universe is such a defining characteristic of a captain. Captains who are excluding Kenpachi alone all have to have Bankais to become captains in the first place. Fuck this bullshit.
Odd.
Did he just say odd? Okay. If by odd you mean yes, that was really bad in Bleach. You're right on that.